because he was in here with me trying to troubleshoot it.
Yeah, I mean, they actually need it for their show, too.
Oh, well, in that case. Oh, Chris spoke to you? Okay. That was
Not me.
I was going to say, it was a hell of a day for you, Trent. Have royalty talk to you.
Yeah, I was honored.
Well, it's good to see he's one of ours. Good to see he's one of us. That took 100 days.
Mm-hmm. Morning, Ambient.
You know, the funny thing is, it's just as simple as the computer's old as shit.
Yeah.
That's all it is. If they got a new computer, it wouldn't. Because there's a bunch of stuff that's not working with it. We've just been tiptoeing around it for a while. Like, even when Felipe was teaching me how to use all this stuff, he's like, well, this is glitchy, so you got to do it this way, and all this stuff.
What's the WM tourney this weekend?
Waste management.
Oh, got it. Ambient selling this NBA trade deadline. Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, Andrew Wiggins, DeJounte Murray. There's oof.
Well, I mean, come on. What was the trade the Pistons made yesterday? I mean, that was
it was big. It was big. They got rid of Monte Morris. Morning, Miles.
Roger. Hello from down the hall. He's bored up and on B.
On B?
Yeah, B, or maybe he's at maybe he's in Sunny. I don't know. They're at Disney.
Oh, okay. They say, by the way, the Vegas course is very easy. That be on 59 watch all 3 days. So I do love the trade deadline. It's just this one's going to be, in all likelihood, lame. But yes, I love drafts and trade deadlines.
Yeah, I used to get so into it in high school. Because that was back
in the 80s.
That was back when you weren't allowed to be on your phone in school. So it was like we would all go to the bathroom and like check our phones and see who got traded.
Was that in the 2020s?
That was
the 2010s.
2016.
Way back in the 2010s, David.
Wow.
Way back when LeBron was a Cavalier.
Well, that was during the Obama administration.
Correct.
It does seem like a long time ago.
Okay, here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. It is the Thursday before the Super Bowl. Got a couple of good guests. Think you're going to like the show. How the heck are you? Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network. FloridaSportsNetwork.com. Hope your week is going well. We got over the hump together. We can start to see the finish line from here. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How are you?
I am good, David. I am doing well, ready for this weekend to get here. Had a good day yesterday, but I'm telling you, David, we are on high alert because I don't know what else is going to break in the studio that we use to do this show.
Uh-oh.
We have a computer down, so there's no play of the day today.
Oh, come on. Well, what's Trent going to do? That's his thing.
It is his thing. So we've got a computer down. We apparently have a leak of some sort. All I know is that there is a fan blowing on the carpet to get rid of the smell, the dampness.
That's the white noise that you hear. If you hear it.
Now, here's
It's
a
a fan.
question. Is there a bucket? Which would you rather have? A fan that's trying to dry the water that's hitting the carpet, or a bucket to prevent the water from hitting the carpet?
I wish there was a bucket in here. Because there was a time when you and I worked here, David, and there were so many leaks in this building that there were buckets all over the building.
There was. It was tremendous.
I mean, why fix the problem?
Right.
When you can just put a bucket underneath the problem.
But you guys are in the newest part of the building, though. You're in the addition. That addition's like not even 20 years old.
Correct.
The old part of the building, we understood when it was leaking and what have you. You know, that was the part that they didn't fix the roof on. The new part, came with the new roof.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know if it's the air conditioning, which typically runs at around 62 degrees around here. That's also broken and not working.
So let me get this straight. There's no air. The 8-track's not working, and we've got a leak.
We've got some sort of leak.
Golly.
We're off to a hot start on an NBA trade deadline special.
You guys want me to do the show with you? No, I'll stay here.
I don't blame you.
I'm good. I mean, any of this stuff going to be fixed in 3 weeks when I'm down there? No? Golly. Hey, how about this? We know the business manager. How about we just go buy the new computer? Quick story. So we're in the booth. It's an SEC on CBS game. It's the late 2000s because I think it was like our third or fourth year, Gary and I doing the games together. And so it's Gary and Vern. And for whatever reason, Vern's monitor was small. It's like, wait, this is not Vern's monitor. Because Mark, you've been in the booth. I mean, the monitor for the play-by-play guy, that's got to be the biggest TV, if you will, monitor that's in the booth.
Right.
Gary's got the, telestrator, and that's always a certain size. You can make them a little bigger, but that's always a certain size. And then, yes, you can get Gary a replay monitor, and it can be of a certain size. But the play-by-play monitor has to be the biggest one in the booth. And it was the smallest screen in the booth. And we're like, well, this isn't Vern's monitor. And they're like, I don't know what to tell you. That's what came off the truck. And I, of course, am laughing. I'm thinking about what? Did somebody pull the CBS truck aside and rob it? What do you mean this is the monitor that came off the truck? I'm thinking somebody grabbed it and they have a new TV in their living room. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And so Gary goes, that's not big enough. And they're like, well, I don't know what to tell you. I kid you not. Gary takes out his credit card, hands it, to the floor manager and says, go buy a monitor as big as it needs to be. And she looks at him and he goes, I'll send the receipt to CBS. And sure enough, that's what she did. She comes back an hour later, biggest damn TV they got, boom. Vern goes, now that's a monitor. Okay, Gary. And all Gary wanted to know was, got the receipt? Okay, so what I'm wondering is, do you think we can go and just get the computer?
David, you can put that right back to my Super Bowl receipts from 2006 that they never paid, okay?
Well, you make a dadgum good point. That's true. We are still that. Well, do you think it's because we tried to expense the night at the Clevelander? Do you think they saw through that?
I don't know what caused they made a lot of money on our backs.
They did.
And
they did. And we did a Super Bowl about as cheaply as you could.
Right.
Yep. So I don't know. It's an idea. Tell you what, I'll text the business manager and say, listen, if we go out and buy a computer and just hand you the receipt, all right, can you take care of this? All right. His favorite basketball team won the other night. This is when you do it. You do it coming off a win.
You got that right. You got to know where to hit him, and he's a college basketball guy, so maybe we'll just send someone after him to talk college hoop for about an hour.
There were so many big shots in that Creighton Providence game. It probably would have been something from that game. It was awesome.
It wasn't, but I appreciate your enthusiasm. See, that's why one college basketball guy to another.
Right.
Right now, what couldn't you talk Trent into? He's on a natural high. He might do the show today for $5 instead of his normal $7. That's how good that game was last night. I will say that tying 3 late in regulation, that reminded me of Gus Johnson's tournament call, the Vermont-Syracuse game 20 years ago, in which whoever the guy was from Vermont hit one from deep, and he said from the parking lot. That's about where that tying 3 was late in that game last night. So, all right. For the record, we went 2-0 last night with an asterisk. We would have bet Wisconsin laying 5.5, but somehow, some way on the Hard Rock app, it was 8.5. And Mark said, I ain't laying 8.5.
No way.
Okay. So we placed 2 bets last night. We took Providence at home getting points against nationally ranked Creighton. Guess what? Providence won outright. And we said, Duke lost to North Carolina. They're going to come back. They're going to take it out on a really bad Notre Dame team. And I have to admit, Duke didn't play worth a damn. But Notre Dame's just really, really bad. Couple of late free throws in the final 30 seconds, and Duke covers. So we had a 2-0 night. So what are we up, like $5?
We're up a little less than that because you don't get the full freight.
Oh, the VIG and whatever. So you see,
we're up a couple of dollars, David.
There you go.
We're on the positive side, and I am very happy that we didn't make the Wisconsin-Michigan bet for a couple of reasons. One, it spit right in the face of what our betting philosophy is on college basketball.
That's true. We were bucking the trend.
We were, and I didn't like it. And when the number went up, I hated it. So we laid off of that game.
Wisconsin had lost 2 in a row, though. That's why we were playing that. But you're right. We were just right into the teeth. Also, Juwan Howard apparently had just put his job on the line with his team and said, you guys suck and you don't try and you don't care. And so it was going to be either they were going to respond to him absolutely humiliating them, or they were going to have to get a new coach.
And Juwan survives.
Right.
For now.
And he got to be on the good end of the handshake with his buddy, Greg Gard. They're tight.
No one slapped anyone.
Nope.
Just a handshake.
I will never forget arguing with Michigan fans when that happened, because they were calling it a punch, and then they're like, it wasn't a punch. His fist wasn't closed.
It wasn't a punch. It was a slap.
Correct. But I'm just like, guys, he hit him. Why are you defending this?
Because he's a Michigan man. That's why. That's what you do. It's all about the shirt. It's all about the hat and the helmet and that's whatever. If you got the logo, then you're one of us. Just like, Trent, you're part of the show. You're one of us. Right now, whatever you do, when you throw that computer that doesn't work out, we'll have your back. We will defend you. When you pound on it so hard and you break the 8-track machine, we'll have your back. Now, you leave this show, no, we'll rat you out.
We'll abandon you as quickly as we adopted you.
Right. No, that was a punch. Oh, no, Trent punched somebody. Yeah. Yeah, I saw it. What do you mean you saw it? You're 350. I saw it on Zoom from a distance. I saw it. So, hey, Nick Saban's a part of College Game Day. That's a stunner. Wow. Nobody saw that coming. I mean, that offer's only been on the table for 5 years. Man, of course, you know what it leads into, Mark? It's right into the whole conspiracy. Florida State fan going, see, they knew he was retiring. All right. And so they were lobbying to get him in the playoff. Okay. And then he was going to join them on game day. Who knows? Probably not the case, but, run with it.
It is interesting, though, because they could add Nick to the chance.
Oh, sure.
There could be a word in front of Nick Saban.
Right. Is Nick going to go to Dublin? Wow, I have to admit, first week on the job, you get to take your wife to Dublin? That's a good gig. You go, where are you going? Going to Dublin. I mean, he's doing nothing but playing golf. I mean, there's some courses over there.
There's a couple.
It's a nice rolling hillside.
Yes.
That time of year, lots of green. It'll be nice. Can't wait to see those receipts. Maybe that's where we'll submit the receipts. I'll try to slip it into one of the ESPN game things. Here you go. Here you go, guys. What's that? Nothing to worry about. Nothing to see here. So yeah, Nick Saban, a part of College Game Day. That set's getting big.
Well, David, if you don't have a big set, then you don't have a proper pregame show.
Apparently, I mean, the Fox NFL Sundays looking at College Game Day going, you guys are starting to have a lot of people on that show.
Is Corso coming back for one more year?
He is coming back. They made sure to announce that. They did. So they did not announce it's his final year, but they did announce that Lee Corso is definitely coming back. I think this will make Lee's role, smaller, which it should be. I mean, obviously, he's approaching 90, and we all know about the health issues he's had. So I could see Lee at the very beginning and the very end, and that 2.5 hours in the middle. Go sit in the trailer, air conditioned, get some fruit, watch the show. Just like listen to our show, Miller and Moulton.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
A small victory is the other computer works. So we have like the starting five music and all that.
All right.
You know what? I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner either. I can see if Tig can put audition on this one. Because I think you can do that. You can pull it from the... And then I can just use all one computer, which actually would be really nice.
Right.
Anyways. Whatever. We'll figure it out.
Because if you put that Odyssey on your computer, you can email yourself the files.
That's what I was thinking. So I'm trying to figure that out right now, but for the podcast, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because the rest of it sucks that we can't put the play of the day, but the only thing that really matters is getting the podcast
Yeah,
up.
it is what it is. It's no big thing.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes after the hour. Thanks so much for being with us. John Perry, he was the referee in 2 Super Bowls. He's the Monday Night Football rules analyst. He'll join us in a little more than an hour. Bryant McKinnie, awesome in college as a Cane. Pretty darn awesome in the NFL. Long career. He's got a ring. He will join us coming up in the final hour along the network before we have the Diamond District bonus hour. On this Thursday, hope your week is going well. We have a trade deadline today, Mark. Ho, ho. You know how we feel about those.
I know how you feel about those. You are over the moon for a trade deadline. Myself,
Drafts.
I think this will be a very lackluster trade deadline. There are no big names being talked about being moved.
What? I mean, Andrew Wiggins might get traded today.
Sell it, baby.
DeJounte Murray might get traded today. How dare you, sir, insinuate that the NBA trade deadline may not live up to the hype? How dare you, sir? You know, a little internal poll question. Trade deadline or a draft? Man, that's a tough one for me. I love both. Love them. You know, you could argue which lasts longer. Drafts usually take days. Hell, they're even going to stretch the NBA draft out to 2 days now. I mean,
What the hell for?
well, Mark, I'll tell you why. Damn Jokic. You know, he had to become the best damn player in the league. He was a second-round pick. That's why. Jalen Brunson, I think, was a second-round pick.
Terrific.
Well, I think that's why. You know, the NBA, it's sell it, baby. Listen, you and I, last two people, we can't criticize any of their leagues and what they're doing with their drafts.
Yes, I can. I can. Because half the players in the NBA are not from this country. And that does take a little bit away from a television show when you don't know who the people are who are being drafted. Collegiate football, we're well aware. We watch the Senior Bowl. We pay attention to when we go to day 3 of the draft. These are still recognizable names to the American sports fan.
That's true. That's very true.
And not knocking the globalization of the NBA makes the sport obviously more money when you can be a worldwide brand like they are, and they've done a tremendous job. But to put a second round of a draft on where you're not going to know who half the players are, show.
And, you know, it might not be. Here's the other thing, though. It's late June, and my guess is while day 1 is been moved to ABC, that day 2 will not be on ABC. Day 2 will be on the 4-letter network. What the hell else are they going to show? College baseball and softball are done. They don't really show regular season Major League Baseball anymore, except on Sunday nights. So that's probably why. You know, it's like, yeah, sure, we'll run it. What the heck? We'll make Jay Billis work one more day before he's got the next 4 months off. Sure. Okay. What the heck? We can have Fran Fraschilla on.
Make sure Fran Fraschilla is there because we need to have someone that can break down the European players.
Right. Have to admit, though, I do love the video that comes from Europe and other places because it does look as if it's in the area code of the Zapruder film. Okay, and you're like, oh wow, is that a? Are we sure he's 6'7"? I can't really tell. Guy who's guarding him's 5'9". Who is that? Right. So we have a trade deadline today, 3:00. By the way, 3:00, very interesting. What? You don't want to get too close to the games? Is that it? So, okay. All right, 3:00. That's the trade deadline in the NBA. A blockbuster is not expected. Right now, nobody has any information that holy blank, the Warriors traded Klay Thompson or Draymond Green. You know, there's no info that anything like that's going to happen.
And they can't keep a secret in that league. So,
right.
The odds of a big name being moved have to be less than 5%.
Right. Remember, late last week, LeBron was potentially on the market. Right. That's LeBron James. Right. That lasted about 18 hours. But LeBron,
fortunately for us, though, it wasn't squashed until after our show, so we were able to get a segment out of it.
No doubt.
So I want to thank LeBron and the folks at Clutch.
Even though they were the ones that shot it down, but you're right.
They shot it down after 10 a.m., so I don't care.
Right. Well, they hadn't woken up yet in L.A.
Right,
so
exactly.
They woke up and they went, wait, I'm getting traded? Yeah, I don't think so. So anyway, I got a trade deadline today. You know, and we're starting to get to the point in which it's like, you know, okay, let's talk about the Super Bowl. I heard Pat Kerwin on his show yesterday, and I don't know if we're going to be able to get Pat tomorrow or not, but heard Pat on his show yesterday in which he said, I am really torn. I usually don't feel this way about games. and he was talking to his co-host Jim Miller, and he said, Jim, but if you told me today I have to do 4 hours on the Niners winning, I can do it. And then tomorrow, if you tell me I have to do 4 hours on the Chiefs winning, I can do that too. So, I mean, it's not often we get a damn near a pick'em Super Bowl. I mean, it's the Niners by 1.5 points.
I know. And I feel much the same way Pat does. My initial feeling was San Francisco.
And mine was the other way. And now I'm being pulled in. I'm being sucked in.
And I'm just scared of, well, we've got Andy Reid with 2 weeks to prepare for a game. This just in. When he has time to prepare, he's been excellent throughout his career.
This has become one of the ultimate, you just don't bet against certain things. Because seriously, San Fran's better in every aspect, I think. They're better, the better roster. Andy Reid's probably a better coach, but Shanahan's still a really good coach. But it's just at the end of the day, in the year they've had a better season.
Can I challenge you on one thing you said?
Sure.
You had to take a defense in a game at this point of the season. Which defense would you take?
I'd take Kansas City.
I was going to say, not sure that the Niners are. Yes, they have a better roster. There's no doubt. They have more players on the A list than the Chiefs do. But Mark, you want to pick a defense for Sunday? Chiefs or Niners? Who you pick?
Chiefs. This is where there are 3 factors. The Andy Reid factor with Spags, who has been coaching his tail off. I mean, we talk about all these coaches, but what Spags has been doing defensively for Kansas City, you have to give him his kudos for the great job that they have done on that side of the ball. So they have the best defense. They have Patrick Mahomes, and they have Andy Reid.
Now, I will say, if you're into analytics, the couple areas defensively where the Chiefs are vulnerable, that's what San Francisco does really well. I mean, the Chiefs against the run have been vulnerable. What did the Ravens not do? They didn't commit to the run. We all think it cost them the game. Well, the Niners, usually when they commit to the run, they stay with it. Now, fourth quarter, sometimes he's gotten away from it, but for 3 quarters, he'll stick with it. So can the Chiefs' run defense hold up if the Niners decide they're going to test it? I mean, they were like 25th or 26th in the league against the run. The other thing is the Chiefs are not good at guarding the slot. They got 2 good corners, but they don't have a nickel. Well, Deebo can line up in the slot all day. So, matchups, San Francisco might be able to match up really well against the better defense. We'll see.
Can the Niners pressure Mahomes? David, you mentioned it yesterday. The one Super Bowl that they lost, he was under duress all day.
And they've not been putting pressure on quarterbacks at all. Miller and Moulton, the starting 5. That's what we do next here on the Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA-certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, nursing home claims. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence. to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So apparently Fluff is caddying still.
Yeah.
Did you see I guess he's 76 and they figured out how long he's been caddying, approximately the number of tournaments he's caddied a year, how many miles you walk every round. They added it all up. He's apparently walked around the earth twice. Well, DC, and I believe Bosa, he got at least one sack, but both times he was not being blocked by Panay Sewell. One was a blitz, and Sewell took the inside guy, and Bosa was unblocked. The other time, I believe it was something similar, but Bosa hasn't been good going one-on-one against tackles in the last month. They got him those sacks, scheming it up so he basically wasn't being blocked by a tackle or wasn't being blocked at all.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"22 minutes before the hour, John Perry, the rules analyst on Monday Night Football. He officiated in 3 Super Bowls, was a referee in 2 of those 3. We will talk to him about, well, being the ref and an official in the Super Bowl. How's it different than a regular playoff game or a regular season? What does the league ask of you? And then, we'll talk to him about a couple other things as well. John Perry, 1 hour from now. Bryant McKinnie, he's got a ring. He's also got a college football national championship ring. He's one of those guys. He will join us coming up a couple hours from now. Right now, it is time for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting 5 on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
Wait, that computer works?
That one works.
Huh. All right. Good to know. Don't hit it too hard on the side now. It's probably what we did to the other one, and it's why it doesn't work.
Good chance, David.
We'll get blamed for it one way or the other. What do we have here? Hey, how about Super Bowl 58? Not much has changed. Niners still by 1.5. Over-under's 47.5. So they're calling for 24-23. All right. Little trivia. You guys ready? Super Bowl trivia. Andy Reid trying to join the list of head coaches who have won 3 or more Super Bowls. First off, how many coaches have done that? Answer's 4. Name the 4. 2 are
Noel.
easy. Noel, who went 4-0, and Belichick, obviously, who won 6. Okay, the other 2. Niners. Think Niners. Bill Walsh.
Bill Walsh.
Okay. And this is the one that most people forget. Joe Gibbs. Is that where you were going?
I was going Gibbs.
Okay. Also, Chiefs trying to do something which hasn't been done in 20 years. They're trying to go back to back. You know, we used to have this a lot more often in the NFL. Basically, pre-free agency. You know, when you keep a team together longer. I mean, we started off, the Packers won the first 2 Super Bowls. Shortly after that, the Dolphins went back-to-back. Steelers went back-to-back twice. Walsh and the Niners did it. Funny thing was, Walsh won the first one. Seifert won the second one. Of course, Jimmy and the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? They did it. Mike Shanahan at Denver did it. And Belichick, Brady, and the Patriots did it 20 years ago, the 03-04 seasons. Reed and Mahomes trying to join that list. Did you see the comparisons between the 98 Broncos, the second Denver team that won the Super Bowl there, and the 23 49ers?
I did not.
Head coach of the 98 Broncos, Mike Shanahan. Exactly. Son Kyle. Okay. Quarterback. Now, he wasn't a starter, but he was on the team in 98. Brian Greasy. Who's backing up that Elway guy. Who's the quarterback's coach for the Niners? It's Brian Greasy. Yep. One of the guys who was the running back for the Broncos 25 years ago. He's the running back coach for the Niners. You know who one of the wide receivers was for the 98 Broncos? Ed McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Son Christian is a pretty good running back there for the Niners. So anyway, you got that whole thing going on there. The Shanahan team from 25 years ago that won the Super Bowl, and the Shanahan team that's trying to win it now. No,
that's interesting.
Okay. All right.
Nice little enjoyed.
Also, Andy Reid has a chance to join the other list, guys who have lost 3 or more Super Bowls. So, he's got that going for him. And some of the guys on this list are biggies, like Shula, like Landry,
right?
Bud Grant, Marv Levy, Dan Reeves. Just saying. So Andy's going to be on a list. Yeah, it's just a matter of which one. He's going to become the 5th guy to either win 3 or more or lose 3 or more. So he's got that going for him, which is nice. Alonzo Highsmith left the Miami Hurricanes yesterday and is going to be in the front office of the New England Patriots. Be curious to see how big a role he has in that front office. But because let's face it, now that the main power guy for a quarter century is gone, it's a battle to gain as much power as you can from everybody who's left. Nick Saban's joining College Game Day. It's an absolute shocker. Yes, Lee Corso is coming back. So you're going to have McAfee, Herb Street, Saban, Corso, Desmond Howard, and occasionally Reese Davis will get to introduce him. So there you go. That's the show. NBA trade deadline's 3 o'clock today, folks. Come on now. Get fired up. Andrew Wiggins might get traded by the Warriors. DeJounte Murray might get traded by the Hawks. Come on now. A couple of trades yesterday. T-Wolves acquired Monte Morris from the team that we're not allowed to talk about. No, wait a minute.
We are.
Right. Trent can't talk about him. Although, can we let him break down the trade or no? How about during a break?
The quick read I did on it is that it was a good trade for the Pistons.
Okay.
A better trade for the T-Wolves.
Monte Morris goes to the T-Wolves for 2 young guards and a 2030 second-round pick. Yeah.
And not just that, a 2030 second-round pick.
Right. Not a first.
No.
Second.
Right.
The Celtics acquired Xavier Tillman from Memphis for 2 second-round picks. And apparently they got rid of somebody on the Celtics, a bench guy who was very popular. Tatum and Brown were like, woke up from their naps. Mark, you talk about they woke up from their naps and they're like, whoa, we traded who? I know he doesn't play much, but I'm not happy about that. Apparently he was a really popular guy in the locker room. Did you hear about the Hayden Highsmith story for the Heat? So Heat just played back-to-back, Tuesday night, Wednesday night at home. They won them both. We'll get to that in a moment. So Hayden Highsmith plays Tuesday night for the Heat. He's on his way home after the game, and he's driving on the highway, and a good Samaritan had gotten out of his car and was helping a broken-down motorist on the side of the road. Hayden Highsmith hit him. The guy's in critical condition, had the lower part of his leg amputated. Highsmith's okay, but no charges yet. But needless to say, Highsmith didn't play last night for the Heat. Don't know if he's going to be playing anytime soon. He beat the Spurs 116-104. Jimmy Butler a triple-double, 17, 11, and 11. Miami's
he has the most triple doubles in Heat history.
Huh.
Right.
Yeah, you would have thought it was Wade, right?
Correct.
But okay.
I thought that when I heard that, I was like, huh.
Yeah. He's really good.
Yes, he is.
Really good. Cleveland won their 7th straight. They beat Washington 114-106. The Warriors have won 4 out of 5, and the Sixers have lost 7 out of 8. Golden State went into Philly and beat the Embiid-less Sixers 127-104. Porzingis with 31. Got to tell you, this guy stays healthy. It's a big if. This guy stays healthy. Nobody's beating the Celtics. This guy is finally playing. He's playing the way he started to play right before he blew out his knee with the Knicks. And he's not been the same player since, and he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Now he's in Boston, and all of a sudden, Mark, this is looking like when they brought Bill Walton in, and Walton had one great year left in him, and it was an 86. Porzingis is staying healthy. And you ain't beating them if Porzingis stays healthy to go with the other two.
Not a chance, David. They're the class of the league when everybody's healthy in Boston.
He had 31. Celtics beat the Hawks by 8. Hornets have lost 9 in a row. Toronto beat them by 6. New Orleans slowed down the Clippers.
Team, just quickly, David. The Hornets are a team that if they disbanded today, no one would notice for a month.
I don't know if they'd notice how bent out of shape they'd be in Charlotte either. I mean, that is a franchise that really has not taken hold.
No.
And I mean, Michael Jordan owned them for a generation and everything, and it still isn't working.
No, they're not the North Carolina Tar Heels. That's the basketball team they care about in that state.
Right. Pelicans slowed down the Clippers. Clippers go 6-1 on a road trip, come home, get beat by 11, 117-106. And I'm going to say it. The Pistons, with just their 7th win of the year. They beat the Kings in Sacramento by 13. Jaden Ivey with 37.
I think they were a 16-point dog in that game.
Yes, they were. We have 4 teams in the NBA with 10 wins or less. 4. Man, Charlotte, the Spurs, Washington, and Detroit. I mean, legitimately lousy. College hoops. Wisconsin's lost 3 in a row. Wolverines with sign of life. They upset the Badgers 72-68, just their 8th win of the year. Duke beat Notre Dame and covered. Game of the night in Providence. The Friars forced overtime and then beat Creighton by 4, 91-87. 6th-ranked Tennessee, they're playing really well. They whooped up on LSU by 20. And Auburn took Bama to the woodshed in the Plains last night, 99-81.
From the word go, too.
Yeah.
They didn't waste any time. They just kicked the crap out of Alabama last night.
In-state FGCU loss. Stetson won. Women's hoops. UConn demolished Seton Hall. Geno's 1,200th win.
Seems like a lot.
It does seem like a lot. 3rd on the all-time list, male and female. Vandermeer's first. Tara from Stanford. 4 ahead of Coach K. Geno's 2 behind Krzyzewski. Geno, when asked, by the way, said, yeah, I'm never going to be number 1. He all but said, I ain't going to be doing this much longer, which is very interesting. What is also interesting is Geno has all those wins at UConn. He's never coached anywhere else. Vandermeer and Krzyzewski coached elsewhere. So that's the most wins at a single school right there. Geno, 1,200 and counting. Other women's hoops action, FAU, North Florida winners, UCF, Jacksonville, South Florida losers. NHL, Mikhail Sergachev just came back from a knee injury. Suffered another lower leg injury. First off, he got cut by a Ranger skate, and then he fell, and we don't know if it's a knee or an ankle, but he had to be stretchered off, and it's bad. So the Lightning just lost a key defenseman after just getting him back, and they lost to the Rangers 3-1. Toronto beat Dallas 5-4. They're now a point ahead of the Lightning. The Lightning right now in a wild card position in the East. Minnesota beat Chicago 2-1. Vlad Jr. beat the Blue Jays in arbitration. He'll get just under $20 million, largest arbitration award ever in Major League Baseball history. Toronto had offered $18 million. Netflix going to do a thing on the 2024 Red Sox. So they're going to get into that realm. They're also going to do a thing on the 2004 Red Sox, the team that ended the curse. Golf, PGA Tours in Phoenix, LIV Tours in Vegas, and Scotty Scheffler and Justin Thomas joined Jordan Spieth in saying, yeah, those guys just can't come back on the tour without penalty. I don't know what the hell Rory's talking about. But no, we're not in a forgiving mood.
No, we just got $3 billion. We're going to stick our chest out.
Yeah.
And talk about the PGA Tour enterprises that we're now big owners of.
Right. Of course, I don't know what it is. The devil's in the details, but man, it sounds good. We don't need no stinking John Rahm. It's 7 minutes before the hour. That was
the starting five every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
So there you go. A little bit of everything going on yesterday.
That's a bad loss for the Lightning and not the game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Top 4 defensemen. Yeah, those are tough to find and tough to find on the cheap. Yeah. That's a problem. That can cost you even making the playoffs.
Exactly.
Never mind doing anything once you get there.
Family of Southwest Florida, are you looking to tap into the electric market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets
Have a
in your new
Coke and
EV
a
today.
smile.
Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Todd with the Diamond District. I believe in complete transparency. If you're shopping for diamonds in Naples, you're paying too much. If you're shopping in the Cape or Fort Myers, you also won't see the selection you deserve to have. If you're online, there's no human connection, and you won't know if your diamond is beautiful or not until it shows up in the mail.
Just because it's GIA certified doesn't mean it's brilliant. There's so much more to a diamond than its cut, color, and clarity that makes it beautiful. Visit us at the Diamond District for a non-commissioned and educational presentation, and quit paying more in Naples or buying blind from the internet. The Diamond District has the rarest diamonds from half carat to 10 carats. You won't find a bigger selection or better value.
And you won't find a better buying experience. Jason and I are in the store nearly every day, and we look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
draft from Carolina, I brought his name up. I said, "Hey guys, he should be on the draft board." I got vetoed on that one. You can ask who. But I think we used to tell guys when we played Brock Purdy, we're like, do not fall for his pump fake, right? Because Brock will come out, hit pump fake, and first game he's 10 yards down the field, pump fakes are DBs are jumping. I'm like, that's the line of scrimmage. So a lot of respect for Brock. I think Brock Purdy's an amazing.
Huh?
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton. John Perry, the rules analyst on Monday Night Football. He was the referee of 2 Super Bowls. He will join us in a little over 30 minutes' time. Bryant McKinnie, who played and won the Super Bowl, will join us in our next hour. Super Bowl 58. You getting excited? This is it. Come on now. Last game for what? 6.5 months. That's if you're counting the end of August in college football. Although, isn't week 1 this year like August 31st? I think of the college football season. I think the season, not the whole week 0 garbage, but the season, I think starts August 31st. Labor Day's early this year, and they just, can't wait. Gotta get it going. So I don't know. The whole Brazil announcement, I'm having to, because I really think ABC, ESPN is going to get that game. And so I'm just looking at flights already and schedules and dates and trying to figure out, can I get there without missing a show? If I'm going to miss a show, what day am I going to miss it?
You're probably missing the NFL opening day Thursday, would be my guess.
No. No, if I'm missing it, I'll miss Wednesday. I'll go early. Okay. No. See, I figure I got one flight on Air Aikman. Either going, coming or going. Okay. I figure I got one seat. Okay. I'd rather, I need to get there. I got time to get back. The game's Friday night. I mean, I'm not going to be able to do the Saturday game with Gary if we get it. So I don't have anything again until the show on Monday. I mean, I got 48 hours to get from Brazil to a hotel room somewhere to do this show.
That'll put a hitch in the giddy up. Yeah, okay, you don't have to do the thing with Gary. You'd rather, but Joe's two spotters, they work Saturdays as well. I mean, that and they don't like to miss work.
Well, they're going to miss Saturday. Here's the thing, though. They work for Adam Amin on Sundays for Fox. Ed does the stats and Bill's his spotter. So they have to be somewhere for potentially 1 o'clock on Sunday. So that's why I'm thinking I'm going to have to give up my seat that I can be on Air Aikman going to Brazil. But I'm probably going to have to be a team player and, do a couple of flights on American or United to get back to the States. But I think that's why I know that the season starts August 31st, because I'm already looking at dates, games, what game am I going to miss?
So I got excited yesterday. I finished playing golf, and I play at the same place every day, and went up to the bar after to settle up with the group that I play with. And on the bar outside, one gentleman is in charge of the boards where I play. He's got 4 different boards. Right. And they were all on display.
Nice. Then
I went up and looked at my numbers. And then I wasn't nearly as excited about the Super Bowl as I was prior to seeing those boards.
It's funny. When the Super Bowls were lousy, you remember way back in the 80s. When the Super Bowls were lousy, you didn't mind having the crazy square numbers because the games were blowouts. I mean, we had some scores that were, nines and, were in play, 2s were in play, 9s were in play. I mean, we had some crazy scores. But now the game's a lot better now. The game's a lot more normal now. Super Bowls have been, the Kansas City Tampa Bay game was the aberration, 31-9. I mean, think about the run of Super Bowls we've had here. We've had good games.
Absolutely. The only thing that gives you a shot is that now teams are going for 2. They're doing, that does throw a few more numbers into the mix.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, would you bet that there's going to be a safety in the game?
I sure hope so. I need some 2s and 9s. I need those numbers happening. I need chaos, David.
Hey, what was it? Colts, Broncos last year the final score was 12-9. Russ versus Matt Ryan.
Wow, he went like week 4 on a Thursday night. That's when Al first got grumpy on us. That's when Al realized, wow, I'm not doing the games on NBC anymore. These suck.
And that game went to overtime and still 12-9.
Right. That's because that great Denver coach blew another one.
And, I hope for the sake of America and football fans everywhere that's not the final score of the Super Bowl, but there's precedent.
Hey, listen, the their last Super Bowl win, that Patriots-Rams game, that was 3-3, I think, deep into the third quarter. Might have been 3-3 going to the fourth. I mean,
that the 13-3 final?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
because remember the Rams kicker? The Rams.
Oh no, David, I remember, because if he would have made that kick and the game would have ended that way, I had that number on a board and would have made about $8,000. No joke. That was it was pay each score, and whoever had the last score got what was left.
And that's one of those times in which, and I know the NFL really doesn't want the broadcasters talking about any of the lines and what have you. But if you remember that Super Bowl, what was it, 5 years ago? It was the 2018 season. And it's 13-3 Patriots. They're going to win. Final seconds. Rams need, a score of some kind to get to the onside kick. And they decide they're going to send out their kicker for like a 43-yarder.
Greg Zuerlein. David, Greg Zuerlein. Greg's the leg.
The leg.
Yeah. Tremendous kicker.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I'd kick him right in the ding-ding if I saw him.
He's going to kick the field goal, and then they're going to line up for the onside kick down 13-6.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, only he missed the field goal.
Yep.
Right. So, but that's one of those times in which I remember thinking, oh, come on, Nance, you got to bring this up. This is a big kick. Nationally, this is a big kick. There's a lot of money riding on this kick. I mean, you think about it. That's got to be, what, a couple $100 million kick with all the squares and all the money?
Yeah.
And that was 5 years ago. A lot of the bets were still illegal 5 years ago. Yeah. So, all right. Now I'm starting the first time. Woke up this morning, I was fired up for the game. First time. And I'm very torn because I already pit against Mahomes once, and that came back to bite me because I didn't think the Ravens would only hand the ball off 6 times to running backs. And I know the Niners are going to give McCaffrey more than 6 carries. But here's the other thing, Mark. The stories are actually better if the Niners win. And I'm big on the stories. I'm big on the Hollywood NFL films. Where's Facenda's Terry Callis's voice underneath? The Brock Purdy story would be Kurt Warner story, Brock Purdy story. I'd go Warner.
I'd go Warner.
You know, undrafted, Europe, bagging groceries in Iowa, the whole deal. But come on, this would be a top 3 Super Bowl story, wouldn't it?
You're better at that than I am. It would be a tremendous story. It really would. But don't forget, Mahomes getting his 3rd would be a tremendous story as well.
Oh, people are already saying if he gets it. I will say, and you and I don't do this, because this is like sports radio clickbait. But someone last week nationally said, okay, if you had the first overall pick of all the players who have ever played in the NFL, who would you pick with number 1? And he was getting at, would you pick Mahomes? We all know everybody that he's getting picked over. We know, you want to go running backs, you're going over Jim Brown, and, that we know. Wide receivers, look how big they are in the game, Jerry Rice. We got it. And never mind the other quarterbacks. But he was just saying, literally, however, where there's like what, 20,000 people who played in the NFL, something like that. Okay, that, you're going to pick number 1. Who would you take?
Patrick Mahomes is on the short list there, David.
Short list. Yes.
What if you had to pick a non-quarterback?
No, well, but why would you do that?
I'm just saying for the sake of conversation.
Why would you do that?
Well, okay. I guess
there's not a rule, by the way. You have the first pick of the draft. Can't draft this position.
I'm just talking through the process because if it's pretty much quarterback only, then I wouldn't take anyone before Mahomes.
Now, remember, we're playing with 2023 and beyond rules. I mean, I could argue, and somebody mentioned it in our Twitch chat room, I have no idea how Dan Marino would be stopped today. No idea at all. No one has ever thrown a ball better than Dan Marino. Ever. Ever.
Patrick Mahomes throws it nearly as well.
And he has mobility. Mm-hmm. But Marino's got those isotoner gloves.
You're right. They don't make him any faster.
But you know what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're getting at.
So
historically, we're watching perhaps the greatest quarterback to have ever played the game, which makes him the greatest player to have ever played the game with the importance on that position.
So, can you really pick against him?
It's been eating at me for 9 days now, David.
I don't think you can.
because there's a part of me that thinks the sports gods, give Kyle Shanahan his ring. Boy, it'd be amazing if Purdy's the one going to Disneyland or Disney World. I don't know, Mark. I'm getting sucked in. I am getting sucked in.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd, with the Diamond District. Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA-certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA-certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. He's rocking over there this morning.
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's funny. You can tell what song it is just based on the. Like earlier, they were playing Dream On.
Oh, big day for you today.
What's that?
One of your heroes' birthdays is today. Vince Neil.
Is it Vince Neil's birthday?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Vince. How old is he? 63. 63. All right. So if you had to take a non-quarterback, how many people would you take before Lawrence Taylor? Because that's what I wanted to ask David, but then he shut it down pretty quickly.
That's a great question.
Because I would argue he'd probably be the number one.
We're coming back with that.
I think he'd be the number one non-quarterback in my eyes, at least him or Barry. But
no, I think it'd be him.
Yeah.
So we can't do the play of the day, can we?
That's correct.
Golly.
Yeah, I'm working on getting that first hour up still. Nothing's cooperating, but
Unbelievable.
working on it.
We do not ask for much. They get a 4-hour show for free. All we ask is that the equipment works. Golly. Uh-uh. No, they get the show. That's what they get.
Okay, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. John Perry, the rules analyst on Monday Night Football. He officiated in 3 Super Bowls, was the referee in 2 of those 3. He will join us in a little more than 15 minutes' time. I think he's listening. I don't know if I woke him up or not. I sent him a text that said, "Good morning, sunshine." Don't know if that was the right approach to bring a guest onto the show at this hour, but that's what I went with. So,
good morning, sunshine, huh?
Good morning, sunshine. Right. That's how we'd talk to one another in the booth, but it's been about 3 weeks. So, I don't know if that, we're still talking to one another that way or not.
Gotcha.
So,
I was thinking about how times have changed around this place. I mentioned earlier in the show that this studio is falling apart before our eyes.
Right.
And because of the leak or drip or whatever, there's another show that uses this studio for locally in the afternoons. And I noticed on Monday that there was a candle in here and a lighter. And I don't, you know me, David, I try not to touch anything in here. I try to use the area that I'm at. I move a chair over by me for my table during the show. And I try to get out of here and leave the place exactly like I left it. But I do laugh that, because you used to work in the studio, things back in the day had a tendency to disappear from any part of this building that wasn't locked.
Absolutely.
And the fact that there's been a cigarette lighter sitting here for over a week and no one's stolen it tells me just how times have changed in this building.
Man, now a pen can't make it a week. Okay, if you'd put a pen, any kind of pen, cheap one, nice one, wouldn't make it through the shift.
But a Bic lighter's been sitting here for over a week, and that thing wouldn't have lasted 20 minutes 15 years ago.
No. Times have changed. They have changed. No play of the day today. Not because we didn't want to. It's because the equipment doesn't work. Yep, the 8-track is busted.
It's not Molly Maid's fault.
No.
No, I mean, they're still sponsor of the play of the day. If we had one, it would be brought to you by Molly Maid. 239-774-5839.
I've got a Molly Maid question of the day for David that I asked Mark.
He
during
does
the break.
have, and you kind of jumped him there when he said, what if it was a non-quarterback? And you got all over Trent. And that's okay. Just hold on over there.
There's a very specific angle we want to take with this.
So if you could just allow Trent to have the Molly Maid question of the day, we still don't have a damn poll question up, and it's nearly 7:30.
Oh my goodness, that's right.
Yeah,
Man, we're really dropping the ball today.
But I do like this question. So Trent, go ahead.
If you were to take a non-quarterback, number 1 overall in our hypothetical question from last segment, how many guys, if any, would go before Lawrence Taylor?
I think because the game has changed so much, quite a few.
Really?
Yeah.
I would take him number 1. I never got to see him play, but I would take the wrecker, the defensive lineman flying off the edge, the best defensive lineman ever. I'd take him.
I think because the game has changed so much that he wouldn't go as high as he is regarded on like the all-time players list. Because when they do those all-time lists, LT is in the top 5 every time. And I don't know that he would go in the top 5 of an all-time draft because of how the game is played today. Could be wrong. And I mean, obviously I grew up a Giants fan. I mean, it's Lawrence Taylor's the greatest player of all my favorite teams that I've, ever saw. Amazing. I mean,
where do you think they would take the quarterbacks out of it then? Where do you think?
Well, to be honest, where would Jim Brown go with how we use and think of running backs now? Where would Jim Brown go? Because most people, if you take quarterbacks out of the equation, in fact, a lot of people say keep the quarterbacks in the equation, that the 2 best players in the history of the league are Jim Brown and Lawrence Taylor.
Right.
A lot of people that feel that way. But with the way the game is being played now, like someone in the Twitch chat room said somebody that, like, to me, with the way the game is played now, do you take Randy Moss over Jerry Rice?
Yes. I think you might take
Is Deion's value now more or less?
Way less, I think.
Way less?
A lockdown corner, yeah. I mean, he's the greatest ever.
Takes half the field away still in a game where we throw it all the time.
But
and teams can't play man.
I think the pass rush is so much more important. That's just my.
Well, no. I think we'd all agree that the pass rush is more important. However, I mean, that is the shutdown corner. I mean, Darrelle Revis goes, yeah, Deion's the best cornerback of all time. So think about the wide receivers today that we say are uncoverable. And you've got the one guy who can cover them. I mean, and Trent, you may be right, but I'll bet you if, we're doing this imaginary draft that, I mean, where did Deion go? Like 5th in the draft that he was taken?
Yeah, 5th overall to Atlanta.
Now, of course, it was, he was the 4th Hall of Famer, I think, taken to the top 5 that draft. But like, I think Deion would go in the top 5 of the all-time draft. That I actually think his value would be greater today than it was when he played.
So it sounds like David's clear answer here is he would take Deion. If it had to be a non-quarterback, he'd pick Deion.
No, I would take a wide receiver. I really would. I might take Moss. Now, I hope I'm getting Vikings Patriots Moss, not Raiders Moss. I would. I mean, I'd have to talk to him and go, so, Randy, who am I getting here? Who am I getting?
Because of the big receiver is such a valuable weapon because he can eliminate, a big receiver can eliminate a shutdown corner because he can win all the one-on-one balls.
I mean, Randy Moss was 6'4.5" and ran as fast as Deion. Now, I've never seen an offensive weapon like Moss. So now also I love my diva wide receivers. So I probably shouldn't be making this pick. But if you're taking quarterback off the table, whoo-wee.
Hard for David not to pick a diva wide receiver. As much as you like defense, you like a diva even more.
But it is interesting, the way we view, like, for instance, Micah Parsons. And, people putting Micah Parsons in the same sentence as Lawrence Taylor is laughable. But, Micah Parsons, a pretty tremendous force. Yeah, they scored how many points against Micah and the Cowboys in the playoff game? I mean, the game's just different now. And they get rid of the ball more quickly now. That's what I'm wondering. Will you be able to scheme? I mean, LT got there arguably as fast as anybody. Would a Reggie White be an even bigger force today than he was when he played? He was a hell of a force when he played because he's in most everybody's top 5 of all-time great players. I don't know. If we're taking quarterback off the board, Jim Brown.
In today's game?
Let's just say you think Jim Brown is the greatest player of all time. And I'm fine with you if you say that. I could make that argument. In fact, I have made that argument.
I'll tell you what, when I start sliding him over in the slot and you got to cover Jim Brown, I mean, because everybody just thinks of him as a runner. We know what an athlete he was. He was arguably the best lacrosse player that ever played. So I'm pretty sure that if I wanted to send Jim Brown out for a screen pass, he's going to catch it.
Yeah. And by the way, tackle that.
They don't tackle now, period.
I mean, Jim Brown is basically Derrick Henry. That's how big Jim Brown was when he played. John Perry, refereed 2 Super Bowls. He's next.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. How about, by the way, poll question, who you rooting for? Not who you think's going to, and we could even put that.
What? Hold on. I didn't have earplugs.
All right. Poll question, who you rooting for? Not who you think's going to win, who you rooting for? Because tomorrow we're going to ask who you think's going to win.
Sure.
Because I have never been a Niners fan, but Man, I don't know. And I do love the Taylor Swift angle. But yeah, Deadstruck, I'm not a Niners guy either. I think this is their last shot with this group.
There, look, it's up. Answer it, retweet it, do all those crazy things. I don't know who I'm rooting for. That's the problem. Whoever I pick.
I have no idea who I'm rooting for. I'm with you, Mark. I'll probably on Sunday morning just make some bets, place some bets, and that will determine my rooting interest.
Be prepared with John. John gives short answers oftentimes.
Okay.
He's very well spoken, but he can be succinct.
Did you read the article about Radio Row on Front Office Sports, David?
I did not.
So the Hyatt, it was in Minneapolis, I believe. Yeah, Super Bowl 26 in Minneapolis. Mike and the Mad Dog asked to broadcast in the lobby of the hotel where the league had set up its headquarters, the Hyatt. The Hyatt wanted $40,000 to do it. So they went across the street to the Holiday Inn and did it for no charge. And that was the birth of the next year. The next year there was 10 or 12 stations, and Radio Row was born. I thought maybe you'd try for Buck since he didn't want anything to do with the Super Bowl.
I'll reach out. I think they're on vacation, but
Sounds good.
John spends half the year in the 239. Lives in Bonita.
Is he a golfer or a fisherman?
Golf and tennis. He plays a lot of tennis. I don't know about fishing. We could ask.
No pickleball? Has he jumped into the realm of pickleball yet?
He's never said pickleball to me. He's said tennis.
Then he probably doesn't play pickleball, and that's probably a good thing.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Thrilled to be joined once again by John Perry. He is the rules analyst for ABC ESPN's Monday Night Football. Before that, he was an NFL official for nearly 20 years. For that, Mark, by the way, He did high school basketball games in Indiana. He's got stories about those 7, 8, 9, 10,000 people at high school games that make a Super Bowl seem like a walk in the park. John's kind enough to join us. Good morning. How you been?
Good morning, sunshine.
I deserve that. By
Yeah,
the way,
you
Mark
do.
had a question. He wanted to know, since you're spending half the year in Florida now, the other half in Ohio, golf or fishing. And I said, well, he plays a lot of tennis. So then Mark wants to know, have you made the switch from tennis to pickleball?
Absolutely not. I still got legs, man. I'm playing tennis till I don't know, 75, 80, and then maybe I'll think about pickleball.
That away, John. That's what I like to hear. He's an athlete, David.
He is.
Although
He's not playing recreational table tennis.
I just offended all the pickleball players.
You did.
So, hey, it resurrected the racket sport, though, so it's popular, and I have played it. It is fun, so it's all good.
All right. We made a series of questions here. We'll fire them at you. So they name you referee of the Super Bowl. Is it different than when you're reffing week 6? Is it different than when you're doing a divisional round game? What's different in terms of when they fly you in, your preparation, the rules, the guidelines? Is it different?
In the world of officiating, it's the greatest 2 weeks of your life. And I had the pleasure of doing it 3 times. But, 7, 8, 9 days ago, 7 officials got a phone call from New York that their body of work for 2023 qualified them for the Super Bowl. And it is, you sit there and you cry. I can tell you, each time I had that phone call, it took time just to regroup after you hang up, because that's what you work for. I officiated for more than 4 decades, 3 sports. I suppose if I had to go back and calculate it, it's 50, 60, 70 events for 40 years each year. And I only got to do it 3 times. And it carries every emotion that you can name, from excitement, thrill, the sacrifices your family made year after year, and it is just a fabulous 2 weeks. Today, Thursday, there's the crew is departing. They're departing their hometowns. They're headed to the event, and they will begin preparation tomorrow. You have every day you have a meeting at least for an hour and a half, 2 hours with the crew, breaking down film, breaking down formations, tendencies, players. It's nonstop once you get there, and as all those emotions start to carry, then you get to that Sunday, and you got the other side. You got fear. You're going to get challenged. You got 100 million people watching you, 40 plus cameras. Everybody wants it to be perfect. There is a lot on that plate, and eventually the game does find rhythm. Takes probably 20, 30 snaps, and then, ironically, it just becomes a game, because it's what you've done over and over and over again. And then they become numbers and play by play, 6 seconds at a crack, 153 plays in a game. That's what you're going to get through.
When you're prepping, is it harder to prepare for a team like a San Francisco? You mentioned formations. They have so many different formations. They're doing so much motion. Is that team harder to prepare for when you're getting ready for a game, John?
Yeah, I think both of these 2 teams are extremely difficult with the motions, the sets, the RPO. 2 great offensive minds. These guys are going to be challenged for 3 hours, maybe like no other Super Bowl, because the game has changed so much, as you guys were alluding to a little while back in the show. These are 2 tough teams to work, and they got their hands full. And they will spend probably over the next 3 days, I would guess, looking at 120, 130 plays from the 2 teams. So they're loaded for bear come 6 o'clock Sunday.
Do the coaches and players work you more in a Super Bowl or less? Or they just, I got to worry about the game. I have to. I'm not working, John, trying to get a call. Or are they on you more in a Super Bowl?
90 minutes before the game, they'll have a meeting with the referee, and both of those coaches will walk through what they're concerned about. San Francisco does this. They have a tendency to do that. They did this 7 times. It was never called. You hear all that stuff. But I can tell you, at 6 o'clock, it's a cerebral night for those two people. It's the next play. Where are we at? What do I need to do? What's the next play? Once that gets settled, they're focused on the teams and what they need to do. So I would say once that game starts, the answer to that is no. Prior to that game, when there is time, they're going to work you, no doubt about it. That's part of the fun.
How difficult is it for these all-star crews, as opposed to the crew you're working with all year, when they start mixing this up? How much more difficult is that for the officials?
It is difficult because you haven't worked with any of these guys. Actually, there's 2 people that have worked together throughout the year, Vinovich and Perlman. And they're 2 of the best, by the way. I mean, the league had a tough year. Let's just put that out there. But the one thing they got right is putting Bill Vinovich on this game. He's the best referee in the National Football League. But everybody goes into this game and they think they're going to be comfortable. They think they've got it already figured out, ready to roll. And when those nerves hit, I've seen 25, 30-year veterans that are antsy, uptight, and you got to go over there and settle them down, relax, find your rhythm. And then you get the guy that maybe has got 7, 8, 9 years under his belt, and for whatever reason, he finds the rhythm and the comfort early. So everybody reacts different once that ball's put on the tee and the game begins.
The first game, because you said, and we're talking with John Perry, the Monday Night Football rules analyst, an official in the NFL for nearly 20 years, and officiated 3 Super Bowls, 2 times the referee. And once, I believe, as a side judge. The 2 games that you were the referee, Super Bowl 46 in Indy, Giants, Patriots, Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta, Patriots and Rams. I'm curious, first time you go on the mic, all right? Were you nervous? Were you scared? Did you have trouble spitting it out?
Well, that's a really long story, but Super Bowl 46, my first Super Bowl as a referee, and you alluded to it earlier, I'm a Hoosier. The game was in Indianapolis. I lived in that city for 12 years. My father officiated all through that area for 3 or 4 decades. I can honestly tell you, prior to the coin toss, standing on the sideline, waiting for TV and the people to tell you, okay, head out to the 50-yard line and do the coin toss, I had no saliva. I couldn't swallow, couldn't speak. I grabbed the gal. I said, I have no saliva in my mouth. And she quickly responded, went down and found a lozenge of some sort. She said, here, chew on this while you run out there. And thankfully I did find a way to swallow and could communicate. But it's a feeling that's almost indescribable because you are so nervous. And especially for that moment, that's the toughest part of the night. You go through the 57 previous Super Bowls, it's hard to come across a coin toss that doesn't have an issue. You got honorary people, you got captains. They walk through it actually pretending Friday and Saturday, but somebody will have an issue. We've had coin tosses where the coin was flipped and nobody had called anything yet. So it's that moment leading up to that. You're glad when it's over. I can tell you that much.
How did you kept talking about finding your rhythm. How did you find your rhythm in games then? With all that going on, how do you then find your rhythm to start the game?
Well, it starts right when you walk out, prior to walking out to the field, and you have about 20 minutes with all of the pomp and circumstance. So the last thing you tell a crew as a crew chief, you say, listen, in 20 minutes, they're going to put a ball on a tee. They're going to kick this football, and we have 160 plays we have to officiate. Within the first 10 to 12, let's find our rhythm. Let's find our communication. How will we work in the next 2 hours and 55 minutes? That's going to be determined in the first 5 minutes. Be aware of it. Communicate with your partner. Talk to your partner. Settle them down. Eye contact, hand signals. And, of course, the officials have what we call the O2O, official to official. So you can actually press a button on the side of your hip, and you can communicate to anybody you want to on the field. And so as a crew chief, you're looking around. You're looking at body language. Are they moving like they should? Are they? And most of these people, of course, we've known each other, but maybe we have or have not worked together. But you can tell immediately he's nervous. They might go over there or get on the O2O and give him some encouragement. Hey, take a breath, relax. We're all good here. And you do find it. Some games take a little bit longer. This game will take at least 20 snaps, I would guess.
They call less penalties in the playoffs than they do in the regular season. Is that intentional? Is that by design? Do you willingly, knowingly allow a little more to go? Or quite frankly, do the better teams clean up their act?
I think the last part is key. These are the two best teams in the league. They are going to commit less fouls. They can't afford the yardage. It becomes a field position game. So they are more disciplined. They know it's win or go home. But in the game, the reality is, yes, they do call less. No matter what anybody wants to say, that you go into the game saying, look, when we're going to insert ourselves with a flag, we can't be wrong. You cannot be wrong. Don't guess. Make it big. Make it jump. Don't look for issues. Officiate in your area. Officiate your keys. And what that end result is, especially with the crew chief, Bill Vinovich, who historically is on a very low end as far as crews of throwing flags, I would anticipate, you're right, David, that if we get to 10 or 12, I think that's about where it's going to be.
John, thanks for making time for us. All right, really appreciate it. A final question. Both Super Bowls that you did were very close games in the fourth quarter. Did you feel that pressure like players sometimes do? Or by then, was it just a game?
No, it builds. And as you get in that fourth quarter and it's maybe a field goal game, a one-possession game, a one-score game, everything continues to tighten up. And you can't make a mistake. That's it, period. Can't happen. So you do feel it. Yeah, absolutely.
John Perry, he's the rules analyst for ABC ESPN's Monday Night Football, 20 years an NFL official. 3 times he worked the Super Bowl. Twice he was the referee, including just 5 years ago in this game. All right, hit him straight. Good luck in your tennis. Okay, if you're fishing, catch things, and we'll hit you up during the off season, I promise.
I'm going to play pickleball.
I knew it. Take it easy, big fella.
All right, have a great one, guys.
Thanks, John.
John Perry. Monday Night Football. Super Bowl 46 in Indianapolis. He did the second Giants-Patriots Super Bowl, and then his last game was Super Bowl 53 in Atlanta. Brady and the Patriots' last Super Bowl win over Sean McVay and the Rams. So, and then he went straight into the booth 3 months later. He signed with Monday Night Football. He's been doing it now 5 years.
Excellent interview. Great insight on what it takes to prepare for the biggest game in all of American sports.
And I love that that he says the pressure builds. We know it out there. The human element of being a referee is there.
Think about those 2 games. The one game I think was 3-3 going to the fourth. the Rams Patriots Super Bowl, and then the Giants Patriots Super Bowl had 2 lead changes in the fourth quarter, including one in the final minute. Miller and Moulton. Bryant McKinnie, he played in this game. He won it. We'll talk to him next hour. Thanks so much for listening. Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
If you're in love and thinking about a diamond, you'll want to hear from my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When purchasing a diamond, you deserve a relaxed, stress-free, and educational experience. You want to have a good time and feel comfortable. You want selection, quality, and value.
At the Diamond District, you'll get it all. With our team of non-commissioned diamond advisors, no one's in a rush. We care only about you and making sure your needs and wishes are fulfilled.
You'll be wowed by our selection of GIA certified diamonds, stunning diamond bracelets, earrings, pre-owned Rolex watches, exotic ruby, sapphire, emerald, and tanzanite jewelry. There's something for everyone at the Diamond District, and all at the lowest prices anywhere.
Jason and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. We're listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Okay, hour one's finally up. I think I found a system that works, so I will have 2 up shortly.
All right. Are you using that Audacity?
Yeah, it's a lot tougher to use because it's just older, but I think we got it.
All right.
Bottom line is, it'd just be nice if this one would work. So
Yes.
hopefully over the weekend they figure something out.
Trent, can you do me a favor?
Absolutely.
And you don't do it during the show. But that interview that we just did, all right, if you could peel that off separately and just send it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think John is horribly underused. And with all the officiating stuff that went on this year, I mean, I have thought that John should have a weekly podcast on a Monday or Tuesday where he just addresses everything. And
yeah,
and I honestly, I don't think the ESPN people have heard John. Okay, they don't. I mean, so I think he would like to do a little more with ESPN. So I would like to send that to John and then let him send it to the ESPN people.
Hey, you're gonna have to eat. Someone just texted and said wanted John's information. I'm not gonna give that out, but the guy says I grew up in Indiana. And
yeah, I saw that.
my father, Jim Beebe, was best friends with his father. So
is that on the Twitch?
Text line. No, that was on the text.
Text line?
That was a text. This windmill dunk they keep showing in the Auburn game was pretty sick. I don't know if you saw the highlights, Trent. Did you see that windmill dunk in the Auburn game?
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty sick.
It was. You don't see him like that very often
No.
anymore. All right, here we go. I was way early on that, by the way.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Third and final hour, Miller and Moulton along the network is upcoming. Bryant McKinnie, he played in and won the Super Bowl with the Ravens the last time they were in the game. College Football Hall of Famer, all-time Cane great. Big fellow will join us coming up in a little more than 30 minutes' time. Super Bowl 58. Starting to rev it up a little bit on the show. Getting into the game. Niners still a 1.5-point favorite. Over-unders around 47.5, so give or take a half a point. It's a 24-23 game. Your gut feeling, Mark, you think that's about right or higher or lower than that?
No, I think that's about right. I do, the Kansas City defense just doesn't get talked about enough to me. We talk about Mahomes, we talk about Andy Reid, but this Kansas City defense has been special.
I'm telling you, I'm going to put a few shekels on Debo as MVP because I really think if the Niners are going to win, that's the guy, that's the spot on the field where, I have to believe that the Chiefs are going to key on McCaffrey. And that can be a group effort. Tough to put a group effort to guard Debo where he lines up all over the field. And I really think that's the breaking point. He's been banged up, obviously, this postseason, but one game, shoot the shoulder up, let's go. And if I'm San Francisco, I'm using Debo the way the Chiefs used Kelsey against the Ravens. 11 targets, 11 catches too. But I'm serious. I'm not playing around. Double-digit targets for Debo for me, and he would have a minimum of 7 catches. I think he has a chance to be the MVP. Niners win, obviously, but I think he's got a real chance to be MVP.
I like it because you've mentioned a couple of times that the way the corners play for Kansas City, you don't look to Ayuk to have the big game with what he's facing in the defensive backfield from Kansas City. So if they're going to throw the ball, where are they going to throw it? I think the other one too, David, that I like your idea with Debo, but I do think that Kittle's another guy for San Francisco that to me has to have a big game. Listening to you and reading others, that their secondary strong. But what does the tight end do? What does the receiver in the slot do? What's McCaffrey do out of the backfield when they're going to be moving him all over the place?
I mean, it will not shock me if we see a dozen times McCaffrey in one slot and Debo in the other. By the way, you better get to the quarterback. I mean, that's all I got to say. I mean, somebody's open on this play. So it's just a matter of, are you going to get to Purdy before he finds the open guy? Because somebody's going to be open. I mean, come on. So it's the fourth time that we have a delayed rematch in the Super Bowl. And by the way, our poll question is who you rooting for in the Super Bowl. Tomorrow, we're going to ask you who you picking to win. They can be different, you know. I'm rooting for so-and-so, but I think such and such is going to win. So tonight, we're just curious who you're rooting for. And, I don't know if you threw a third choice, which is, I got to be honest, neither one of these teams do anything for me.
I didn't, because that would have won.
Yeah, I think it would have.
I'm making people pick.
Do you think that there's a little bit of Mahomes, Kelsey, Taylor Swift backlash?
Absolutely.
And that the Niners are actually going to be the team that more of America is rooting for? Like 60-40?
Boy.
Plus,
San Francisco's never been that team. As good
No.
as they've been throughout their history, they've never had a national fan base of any sort. A little bit with Montana.
The very first time you could argue that Niners-Bengals first Super Bowl in the Silverdome, the San Francisco coming on the scene, they had a rough decade leading up to it. And so, Walsh, Montana, okay, they were warm, they were fuzzy, Ronnie Lott and the three rookies in the secondary, okay. They had beaten the Cowboys, Dwight Clark, the catch. So it was like, oh, okay, they're cute. They seem fun. And then, after that, they became the Niners. Beating everybody.
I know for a fact my mom's rooting for the Niners. She loves the Niners.
Huh.
One of her adopted teams.
Interesting.
It's a Joe Montana thing. Stem from that.
That's like my grandma's loves Terry Bradshaw. So the Steelers are like her second.
It's David's mom.
Yeah.
My mother would have left their entire family behind to run off with Terry Bradshaw.
And if she'd have seen him, Bradshaw might have been game for it.
I was going to say, and the one time we had him on the show, we told him that. And he laughed and he basically said, well, you've got my number. Give it to your mom. Terry, I will say, having run into him a couple times when I was working for Fox and, late in the playoffs and everybody would be in the same hotel and what have you, he is the exact same way off air as he is on. He is the life of the party. The party starts when he walks in the room. All right. He's a good time. He really is. But so fourth time we're doing this rematch thing, a few years apart. So we had the Super Bowls 10 and 13. We had the Cowboys and the Steelers. Pittsburgh won them both. Then, I forget the Cowboys Bills. They played in back-to-back years. And obviously Dallas won them both. And so now here we go. The same separation as what we had with the Cowboys and the Steelers back in the day. We got the rematch. Well, so far, the team that the second time around, the team that won the first wins it the second time. Take it for what it's worth. But then you got the whole going back to back. The last 3 teams that have had a chance to go back to back have all lost. Remember, Kansas City was trying to go back to back when Tampa Bay beat them. Patriots were trying to go back to back when Nick Foles and the Eagles beat them. Seattle was trying to go back to back when they didn't run the ball from the 1. And the Patriots beat them. So 3 times in the last 10
wondered
years.
if we were going to finish that with the Patriots beat them. I thought you may have just ended that right there.
I could have, but I mean, most of us look at that Super Bowl and go, run the ball.
Yes.
But, okay. Hey, might very well cost him the Hall of Fame. First off, for a couple of guys on Seattle, 2 titles as opposed to 1, and also for Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson in the Hall of Fame if they run the ball from the 1 instead of him throwing the goal line interception.
Highly likely.
So, pretty big play in NFL history. Pretty big play. So, hey, come on. There's a historical factoid or stat to back up whichever way you want to go in this game.
Just dig into it. Just dig into it hard enough. You can find what you need to find. But who are you rooting for? That's our poll question today. FloridaSportsNetwork.com. That Mark Miller, the David Moulton on X. It is posted and reposted.
And I just wondered, are we having a little bit of Chiefs fatigue? I think if you're rooting against the Chiefs because of Kelsey and Taylor Swift dating, I just think that's preposterous. I really do. I don't understand that angst.
Well, there's a lot of people that are.
And there are a lot of people that are upset of how many times they're showing Taylor Swift and they're blaming the Chiefs for it, not the networks. I mean, that's the funny part.
Right.
It's the Chiefs' fault. And I don't like the Chiefs because NBC, CBS, ESPN have decided to show Taylor Swift whenever humanly possible.
Because this is sports. It's not entertainment tonight. We don't want to see any celebrities. Meanwhile, I saw this. Someone posted this on X the other day. During Lakers games, don't they cut to Jack Nicholson like at least 8 to 10 times? Spike Lee at Knicks games. Why are we so upset that it's Taylor Swift? Because she's a pop star? What's the difference? What makes... And again, I don't even really like Taylor Swift that much. I just don't understand why people always have to be angry about something.
I don't like her at all. I don't dislike her.
But you don't have a problem with the cutaways.
I love the cutaways. I'd be doing the cutaways. What are you out of your mind here? This is the #1 pop star on the planet. And she's attending your games because she's dating one of your players. Yes.
By the way, do you know how much airtime she got in the AFC Championship game? 25 seconds. I don't think any of the games she's attended this year, she's been on TV for more than a minute total. The average amount of time that she's been on the air in the games that she's attended is 27 seconds.
That's less than a network ad.
But for whatever reason, it's elicited the response that it's elicited. I think it's ridiculous, but, to each their own.
So there is a fraction of people that are rooting against the Chiefs for that reason, but to what David was originally saying, there's also a Chiefs fatigue factor for some people.
Oh, anytime somebody's good, there's a fatigue factor.
That, have the Chiefs become the new Patriots.
Well, and tell me there's a Patriot fan out there rooting for the Chiefs. Not a chance. Not a chance.
This is 4 Super Bowls in 5 years, right? And if they win it, it would be 3 rings in 5 years.
Right.
Back to back.
And by the way, if they win, they fit the criteria of what?
A dynasty.
There you go.
Something that I also think is key here is the year they had. We've been talking about it all season. This is the worst Chiefs team of this Mahomes era, and yet they find themselves right back in the Super Bowl. So I do think there's a jealousy factor there for some fan bases, not naming names.
Speaking from the heart there, Trent?
A little bit. You can have a down year, you can have an off year, you can have your worst season in 5 years, but nope, we're back in the Super Bowl, and it's darn near a pick 'em.
Glad you pointed that out, Mark.
That was right from the heart. There was no doubt. No doubt.
But this would be the completely different Super Bowl win for the Chiefs. They will have done it by winning 2 out of 3 playoff games on the road, and they will have done it being underdogs in 3 consecutive playoff games. When they had been an underdog, I think, once during the previous 5 years.
But if San Francisco with Brock Purdy winning the Super Bowl, Mr. Irrelevant, leading to him getting paid as Super Bowl champ. Wow, would that be something? The Swiftie Special. That's next on Miller and Moulton.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
What was the question from the texter to John?
His dad, he says his dad, Jim Beebe, Beebe, was best friends with John's father.
Jim, how do you spell BB again?
Beebe.
Okay.
I want to text this guy back that said, John said his dad never really liked your dad.
Oh, wow.
I hate to break this to you.
I'm an a-hole.
Yeah, go Raiders. I get the. I'm not a big Kelsey fan myself. It has nothing to do with the Taylor Swift. Like if you just don't like Travis Kelsey because of his antics and he's cocky and
because it's too good.
No, he's just very. Okay. This is where I will I don't like Kelsey, period. I don't have anything against him personally. I don't like him as a player. He annoys me. He inserts himself into every post-game interview that he's all about him, in my opinion. They're interviewing Patrick Mahomes. Travis Kelsey's got to come put his arm around him and scream into the camera. They're interviewing Andy Reid. Travis has got to sneak up behind him and photobomb it. And yes, I would absolutely love him if he was on my team, West Coast Dolphin. You're correct.
Johnny says that Taylor Swift should send the NFL an invoice for all the money she's making them. There was a story out there. I don't think it's true, but that Taylor Swift somebody said that the NFL should pay for Taylor Swift's flight and suite at the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah, RCB, that's out there. He's a system quarterback.
I love what Herm Edwards said, though, on the show Monday or Tuesday.
They're all system quarterbacks?
They're all system quarterbacks, except for like Mahomes and maybe a handful others in history.
Yeah, you mentioned Elway, a couple others.
I mean, Brady could be. I don't know. I do think the fact that so many quarterbacks have won in Shanahan's system, never won the big one, but so many quarterbacks have had success in the Shanahan system. I do think that speaks volumes a little bit.
Don't like Travis Kelsey.
Yeah, I just don't. And it hasn't always been that way. It's more of over the last 3-4 years. He just
Interesting.
I know.
He's just cocky. That's all. And I like that sometimes. I just, the way he does it irritates me. That's all. I also am well aware he's the best tight end ever, so I'm not really.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
I didn't like Jordan.
Yeah,
Jordan's the best player that's ever played basketball, but
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour. Bryant McKinnie, all-time great Cane, already in the College Football Hall of Fame. High first-round pick. Terrific Viking, won his Super Bowl with the Ravens. He will join us in a little more than 15 minutes' time. All right, the controversial / fun part of the show. We figured we'd just tackle the 800-pound gorilla right on.
if this was a late night show, I'd use Letterman's line here. Wake the kids, phone the neighbors. It's the game everybody's playing, David.
It's the Swifty special.
We have 10 songs that we choose which is the Taylor Swift song. We were given 2 song titles. One is an actual Taylor Swift song. One is a made-up song title or a song title by somebody else.
Most shows, they would look it up. Wikipedia, Google, something along those lines. Trent, who's our researcher?
Brooklyn Kemp. We have someone crunching the numbers for us, David.
Mm-hmm. She's girlfriend of your younger brother, right?
Yes,
Okay.
Miles.
Right. Okay.
All right. Are we ready to rock?
That's how we roll, Miller. I don't want to say that we're a show on a budget, but
no, we'd have to have a budget to be on a budget, David.
Exactly. This is how we roll. Remember, Mark and Trent are sitting in a studio. The one computer doesn't work. There's water leaking from the ceiling, and the air conditioning now doesn't work. When before it's 59 degrees, now it's 89 degrees. So that's how we roll. Amazing this show gets on the air every day. It really is. Okay.
That's the truth.
For the record, Mark has kicked my butt all 3 days. He knows the difference between what's a Taylor Swift song and what's not. He's gotten 22 of the 30 correct. I'm 15 for 30. I'm a coin flip.
And we are past halftime. 2 song titles. You tell me which one is the Taylor Swift song. Number 1, Things You've Done or Don't Blame Me.
Don't blame me.
Hot Start. That is the correct answer.
All right, here we go.
Number 2, We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together or
Yes.
Here We Go Again.
Yeah, the first one.
That is correct. That was a number 1 hit in 2012.
Unbelievable.
I didn't even get the answer.
What were you going to say? Honestly.
I was going to say the wrong answer.
Okay.
I was going with the second one. I will take an L there.
Slow down there.
He was so excited. You got 2 in a row.
Yeah,
he just jumped.
That was on me. But we appreciate Mark's.
That's actually a song title that I recognized. Okay. See, we are never, ever, ever. I've actually heard that song before.
It went number 1, and it was there for quite a few weeks.
I think that was, in honor of John Mayer, I think, was she wrote.
Yeah, it was. It was written about John Mayer.
See?
That's correct.
Okay.
Look
All
at
right.
you.
The pop culture really helps David out. Round 3, The Archer or Knight in Shining Armor.
Knight in Shining
Armor.
The Archer is Taylor Swift.
What the heck?
All right,
what is she talking about? Sagittarius? I mean, what? What's that about?
I got to regroup here. This is not going well at all.
That was off her folk alternative album. So I'm really not. I've never heard that song. I just,
Do we think he's just showing off right now? Like there are 3 of our listeners that know the album titles of a Taylor Swift song. I mean, I think he's just showing off right now. He's auditioning for Jeopardy is what he's doing right now. When, the whole panel gets it wrong and he goes, well, that was off the 2013 title.
I do a lot better with hair metal than Taylor Swift. But round 4, Cardigan or Blue Jeans?
Cardigan.
Blue Jeans.
Cardigan's correct. Mark's back on track.
Get that.
Number 5, Little Miss Mistaken or Mr. Perfectly Fine?
Mr. Perfectly Fine.
Very well done. That is correct. Number 6, Death by a Thousand Cuts or In My Afterlife?
Death by a Thousand Cuts.
And what he's saying. I'll ride his coattails on this one.
That's correct. Smart choice, David.
Is this was that one of the 2 or 3 that you know?
No, but it just seemed
that one spoke to you.
Yes.
Okay.
Again, Mark has his finger firmly on the pulse of the Taylor Swift.
This is the equivalent of, your pop morning show playing Dead or Alive. This is what we're doing here.
Round 7, King of My Heart or Royally Torn?
King of My Heart.
King of My Heart.
That's correct. You guys
we're both 5 out of 7. Pressure's on. It's like John Perry in the 4th quarter of a Super Bowl. The pressure's building.
Wonder how he's doing with this right now.
He's going, I can't believe I did 15 minutes on this godforsaken show.
David with 5 wins right now. That ties his career high. We've got 3 to go. Round 8, Golden Hour or Bejeweled?
Bejeweled.
Hour.
Bejeweled is correct. David has a new career high.
I got a 4th quarter lead.
Number 9, Dancing with Our Hands Tied or Fictional Bliss?
Dancing with Our Hands Tied.
Fictional Bliss.
Dancing with Our Hands Tied is correct.
Oh, we're tied. Go to the last one.
Miller and Moulton have delivered on the Swiftie special today. As we enter round 10, same old song or Everything Has Changed?
Everything has changed.
Correct. You guys both nailed it.
We're going overtime.
Overtime. All right.
If I had
Good job, David.
I should have been prepared for a potential overtime this week.
Thank you.
And tomorrow we're doing Taylor Swift boyfriends?
Correct.
I'm going to fail miserably at this.
Wow.
That'll be interesting.
First off, and we've got at least 10 which, and she dated the one guy for 6 years. See, I'm all over this stuff, Mark.
Yeah, you're going to kill me tomorrow. I don't even know who these people. You're going to name people. You're going to have 2 people. I'm not going to know who either of them are.
My wife watches Entertainment Tonight. I'm trying to get her to turn on Family Feud. She's all over Entertainment Tonight.
I will
Does
say,
she still know who the people are that they're talking about?
No, and let me tell you, the Grammys, she turned to me, she goes, I'm old. I go, I love you. It happened before Sunday night, but okay. And she's like, I don't know who any of these people are. I go, I don't know how to tell you this. You didn't know who they were 5 years ago either, but okay.
another little game like this that I've been seeing going around on the internet is Swift or Shakespeare, and they give a quote, and you'd be surprised how
That's outstanding.
And
That's really good.
it's a lot
Yeah.
harder than you'd think. She's got some lyrics that are very cryptic and don't quite make a whole lot of sense. And
I
double.
was going to say, did Bill, was Bill a romantic? Did he talk about relationships?
Well, he wrote Romeo and Juliet.
Well, I was going to say, I know he did the one. Okay, I just didn't know. I mean, usually you can't take all the quotes from the same, story, can you?
He did the one, but that's the big one.
It
That's
was a
probably-
biggie.
I mean,
It
that or Titanic
was-
is probably the biggest love story ever.
It was a biggie. Okay.
Man, scalping tickets for that. Now those tickets were going for big money.
For Romeo and Juliet, you're right. I mean, at the Sphere, okay, yes. I mean, that was something. By the way, have you seen what they've done with the Sphere? All the helmets on the Sphere, then the Super Bowl rings.
Super Bowl rings on the Sphere looked really cool.
Wow.
The rings looked really cool.
When we were out there, I think it was late October, they put the Monday Night Football logo on the Sphere. Okay. For free, by the way. They didn't charge Disney for it. And obviously, Disney, got it on video and what have you, and then used it during the broadcast. But I drove by it and there was the logo. Went, holy mackerel, look at that thing.
Well, they should have charged Disney for it because they are losing money of evidently the Sphere.
Yes.
They'll make it back, but
Really? You build something for $2 billion. Tell me how you're getting it back. It's like the people investing the $3 billion in the PGA Tour. How the hell are you making that money back?
Especially when you're giving most of it just to the players for being on the tour.
I don't know. It's the coolest venue, probably.
I
ever.
understand, but $2 billion it costs just to open the doors.
Yeah, the CEO stepped down not long ago.
That's a right quick story about the Sphere. So apparently that's where the NHL draft is going to be. And the Rangers want to make a deal and trade their first round pick, and their owner, who owns the Sphere, won't let them. So they have a pick for the draft.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Who was the original Family Feud host?
Richard Dawson.
Okay. How long has Steve Harvey been doing it now? 10 years?
Oh, every bit of that, yeah.
Okay. I'm your man, Steve Harvey. My cousins were on that show.
Really?
Yeah. The ones from Hemlock.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was funny because we have the clip of Steve Harvey saying, from Hemlock, Michigan, the Notelfa family. And they just go nuts.
Did they win?
They won one, and then they lost their second.
Did they get the big money?
They got fast money.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. Actually, they might not have. I don't remember. But my cousin Mark, who's a diehard Pistons fan, he put for his name tag, he put Mark Isaiah. Don't know why. He just put Mark Isaiah. They let him do it. Taylor leaves Kelsey for Gronk. That would be insane.
For Kittle.
That would be nuts.
Steve Harvey's been doing the feud since 2010.
Wow.
60-1 on Kittle for MVP.
Oh, that's worth a shekel.
Debo's at 20-1. Kelsey's at 11-1. Nick Bosa 75-1. Did he really, Yinzer? Did not know that.
Yeah, he did. Ray Combs.
Ray Combs, that's his name. That's a good pull, David.
Four out of every 10 Super Bowls, the MVP is not a quarterback.
Do we have a backup number for Bryant?
Why?
It's not going through.
Huh. Did you try the one?
Yeah, I did it with and without. Both times didn't work. I'll try one more time here.
It's not a number?
It won't go through. David, text me if you get one, but we're coming back.
So be on the lookout.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, till the Diamond District bonus hour gets underway in the 239. Thanks so much for being with us. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. We're having trouble getting a hold of Bryant McKinnie. I may have screwed up the phone number, so that's on me. So hopefully, send out a couple of urgent SOSs and then see whether or not I can fix my mistake over the course of the next 15 minutes.
You're up against it time-wise to fix said mistake.
Yes, I really am.
You could be living with an E. This could be E3. Runner advances to second.
I was a catcher.
Little baseball in my brain, David, because
Right.
this morning I stumbled into an article with over-unders.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. Pitchers and catchers next week, you know.
I know.
Well, we can legitimately bring it up. It's okay.
Do you guys do futures on over-unders?
We go through them on the show.
Gotcha. But
We
you don't
usually have a couple play. Like we definitely will spend some of our hard-earned money on over-unders.
Like last year, I went 2-0 on my 2 over-unders. I went under on the Astros because they were the biggest number on the board or second biggest. It was like 98.5. And I went, yeah, that's not happening. Division's much better, blah, blah, blah. You know, they had lost some pitching. I go, that's not happening. And it didn't. I think they won 91. And I went over on the Diamondbacks. I mean, I didn't think they were going to the World Series, but I mean, if you remember, I thought
No, you were all over that.
Now they only won 84 games in the regular season, but their over-under was 73 or something like that. So yeah, we're actually, we do all 30 teams, Trent. Okay, and we're not necessarily great on the all 30, but the 2 or 3 that we put our money behind, we're actually pretty good.
But I laughed because I read the article in the article, and we'll get back to it. But the article had, immediately. I looked at 2 things. I looked at my Tigers to see where they are, and I always look at the Rays. And this person was going under on the Rays. I'm like, you fool! Never go under on the Rays.
What's their number?
86, I believe it was. Okay. Which they are starting to slowly creep them up and make it a little bit tougher. But that's for another day as we get ready for the Super Bowl. Who are you rooting for is our poll question. Go to that Mark Miller, the David Moulton on X. It is posted. I still haven't answered the question because I don't know, David. I truly don't know who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for a good game, and I think we're going to get that.
This, for me, feels like I'm not rooting for someone, but then I'll see how the game unfolds, and eventually, I go, oh, I guess I'm rooting for so-and-so.
And there's part of me that's rooting for the Chiefs just because of all the people that are not rooting for the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift. I mean, that's enough. That's enough for me.
I'm finding myself in that department a little bit as well.
If you're CBS, you gonna do more Taylor Swift this game or less? I'm just serious. I mean, because this is a conscious decision. I mean, this is something you talk about. I mean, you've got 40 cameras, maybe more, but there's one on the booth that she'll be in at all times. You can always go to that shot. Somebody's going to be responsible going, oh, clear view of Taylor. Do you go to it like first Travis catch?
You read my mind. First Travis catch, any Travis touchdown.
It's really hard because Mark, you guys are bringing up the MVP odds, which is really, really interesting. That's one of the most popular prop bets for people, right? They throw money on. You guys have talked about the value of Debo and stuff. It's really, I think, no matter what Travis Kelce does, going to be hard for him to win that because it'll go to Mahomes. Kelce could have 3 touchdowns. Mahomes has 4 and a couple rushes, and then all of a sudden it's Mahomes' award.
Well, and, Jerry Rice won it the 1 year with Montana, obviously throwing him the ball, but Jerry was amazing, and he was given more credit because of yards after catch. But no, it's a valid point. Usually they give more credit to the guy throwing it than catching it.
Now, that's where your Debo point and even a guy like Christian McCaffrey, those guys have a great shot, and even Pacheco, because if it is a ground pound.
Well, I think Pacheco's, and someone in the Twitch chat room said it's 27-1 on Pacheco. I mean, I think those are the type of odds that you have to look at. But to me, if that's why Bosa is so fascinating at 75-1.
Yeah. Von Miller had a strip sack and 2 sacks and a strip sack and a fumble recovery, and they gave him the MVP back in 2015. Deservedly so.
But that's if you think that the most dominant unit on the field is going to be one of the two defenses.
And I don't.
But could you factor in, I mean, if Nick Bosa gets after Mahomes and rattles his cage and that's the reason they win?
He'd have to have multiple sacks.
Yeah.
And he'd have to create a turnover. And they'd have to they would have to be the best unit on the field, I think.
Gut feeling. Ravens held the Chiefs to 17 last week. Do we think the Niners are going to do that?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Tough to see a defensive MVP coming if that defense is giving up 20 or more points.
Great point.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, trying to think the Steelers, Cowboys, Super Bowl, Larry Brown, the 2 interceptions. Trying to think, did Dallas give up 17 or 20 in that game? But, it's possible, but highly unlikely. The Bucs gave up 9.
I wonder if there's a prop bet on how many Taylor Swift cutaways will be.
Oh, absolutely there is. My guess is there's a Taylor Swift, how many times she's shown, and then there's how long. Like 30 seconds over under would be my guess. And people would be surprised that most games she's been at, she has not been on the air for 30 seconds. So, hey, speaking of television, you think Nick Saban's going to be good? For those that missed it, the worst kept secret in the industry. For 5 years, everybody knew that when Nick retired, he was going to go on College Game Day, and he was eventually going to be the guy to replace Corso, but he wasn't going to put the hats on. They just got to get somebody else to do that, and they got that guy now. It'll be McAfee. So
I don't know. My gut tells me no.
Really?
But, I watched him on McAfee's show a few times this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they build a rapport. And Nick does have a rapport with the game day crew, with the with Kirk and with Reese. He gets along with them very well.
Well, it's been a hell of a. He's either been in the playoff and playing or coaching for the national title, or he's been on their set commenting on the game. Ask an Auburn fan how happy they are that the 2 times they played for the national championship, Nick Saban was on set.
I just don't know how critical Nick will be.
Well, we'll know whether in his heart and mind he's really retired. Because that's the first thing that you and I notice. That when the coaches go into the booth, how long does it take for them to stop being coaches? Where they just say the obligatory stuff and they don't criticize.
And that's what I think we're going to get a lot of. My gut tells me this is not going to be good.
Brady had an interesting quote yesterday. I forget who he was talking about, but he, on his weekly show, Let's Go, it's Brady, it's Larry Fitzgerald, it's Jim Gray, and it airs on Sirius. And Brady made the comment earlier in the week, something along the lines of, well, that's one of the problems with the NFL. And I got a lot of problems with things that are going on right now. And I'm like, whoa, okay. I'm telling you, I really think he may be more like Johnny Miller. Based on what he has said on his show, if that Tom Brady is going to put the headset on and stand next to Kevin Burkhardt, he's going to be the most negative analyst of the major analysts.
And will we like that? We don't typically like negative analysts, David. Johnny Miller was hated in the golf world. I don't know if there's ever been, other than Brandel Chambly, I don't know if there's been any in the golf media that's been hated more than Johnny Miller.
But does he have the gravitas? Does he have the resume? For as terrific as Johnny Miller was, he wasn't Jack. He wasn't Arnie. He wasn't then Tiger. And Johnny Miller's a Hall of Famer. Johnny Miller won 30 tournaments. He won 2 majors. And he had to do it going head-to-head with Jack. Johnny Miller was player of the year one year. He won like 11 tournaments. In Jack's prime, he was better than Jack for a year and a half. You know, it was kind of like that moment in time when Phil was a par on 18 away from actually being as good or at that moment in time slightly better than Tiger if he had parred 18 at Wingfoot, because he would have won 3 majors in a row. When Tiger Woods was 30.
When Tiger Woods was Tiger Woods, exactly.
Right. I mean, that's how good Johnny Miller was.
But David, by and large, I don't believe people like negativity when they're watching their favorite sport. Nobody wants to hear someone complain about what they're watching and say why it's not good anymore. And if he's going to be that critical, there's an art form of how to do that. And if he can pull it off, it'll be something.
But let's face it, when Arnie, when he was alive, if Tiger, when they are critical of someone or something, nobody gives them a hard time. They're Jack. They're Tiger. In fact, a lot of people go, oh, wow, I never looked at it that way. It's Tom Brady. Tom Brady.
Right. I know.
You
can't say one name without the other. It's not Tom. It's not Brady. It's Tom Brady.
Has Tom ever said something publicly in which we all went, I'm calling BS? That's crap.
Yes.
Okay.
Recently, when he's been going nuts about how when I played the game he played a year ago, for crying out loud. Yeah, people have said a few times, Tom, you didn't play in the 70s. You played 2 years ago.
It wasn't even the 80s.
So, yeah, people have. And I think people will point that out.
Okay.
But look at you. I'm all for a different voice.
I just think if Tom Brady, let's just say there's an offensive lineman that, just does a horrible job on a play. Or because, for instance, it's now been shown a lot of times, I don't know if you saw it, the 1 touchdown run by the Lions in the game against San Francisco when Chase Young is jogging, and doesn't get to the ball carrier when he cuts back inside the 10, where if he had given any kind of effort on the play, he clearly would have been there when, I don't know if it was Gibbs or someone else, cut back, and he would have tackled him on the 8-9 yard line. And who knows, maybe they don't give up a touchdown there. But he literally was jogging over in the vicinity of the play. Olsen, as good as we think he is, as much as he sees, he didn't point that out. That seems like something where Brady would go nuts, all right, if he saw it. And if somebody pointed it out to him, where he would go, this is unacceptable, and he'd circle the play. He'd go, look at his effort. Are you kidding me? Get him off the field. What if he did that?
David, it would be great. Again, I'm all for something sounding a little different because most of the announce crews are similar. Some are better than others. But I don't think there's stylistically, I don't think that there's one broadcast that I can go, that's different than everybody else's.
I'm curious how much of a SEC homer Nick's going to be. Remember, ESPN has nothing to do with the Big Ten anymore. Coke and Pepsi are running the sport. Since Coke's based in Atlanta, okay, ESPN's Coke. Fox is Pepsi. Okay, is Nick going to become who grew up in Big Ten country, who coached a Big Ten team? Okay, is Nick going to give the Big Ten its due?
I'm more curious from the whole show standpoint when they pick games. Are they going to bother even picking Big Ten games this year? I mean, at what point does this just become the SEC network over on ESPN, if you know what I mean?
Right. I mean, how much, when they go on location, are they going to actually... will they do the show live from the Ohio State-Michigan game? Will they go to Happy Valley ever again and do game day? Yeah. That's what I actually think Nick will be pretty good.
I hope so.
I don't think it'll be great. I think it'll be pretty good.
We will find out. And how this show, to me, I'm more curious just of how the show changes entirely than I am about the addition of Nick because of the change in college football, to see how much attention they pay to the Big Ten, to see how much attention they pay to the Big 12 this year. and how they go forward with that. Miller and Moulton along the network. Have a great rest of your day. The Diamond District Bonus Hour is next.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best, and the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail
The
East.
law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
By the way, the Cowboys have interviewed Mike Zimmer and Rex Ryan.
Yeah.
For defensive coordinator. I got to admit, the Zimmer one intrigues me because Zimmer's not a nice guy, and I actually think the team needs it. They're at the point, if this is make or break, and I mean, I actually think the Cowboys could use an ass kicker. Harrison Smith had a great thought about Zimmer, the Viking safety, in which he said, I got to be honest with you, it was not always easy playing for him, but I've never been around anybody who knew more about defense, and he made me such a better player, and I became so aware of not just what I had to do, but what everything else was going on. but he did say he's he's not for everybody. And I think the Cowboys need to have their ass chewed all year.
Plus 325, successful 2-point conversion.
Ooh.
Total first downs, 41.5 is the over-under.
Huh.
Total fourth down conversions, 1.5 is the over-under.
Oh, I'd go over.
What will be higher, longest field goal made in the game or total points in the game?
Nice. $51 first downs in the Lions-Niners game. Niners had 23 of them. In the Chiefs-Bills 27-24 game, 48 first downs, 21 by the Chiefs. Chiefs had 22 first downs against the Ravens. Had like 16 of them in the first half.
Right. 8 of them on the first drive. Will there be a score in the final 2 minutes of the first half?
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour. Todd and Jason at the Diamond District. Less than a week away from Valentine's Day. They could come in handy for you. What we're trying to say. Great service. None of their sales folks operate on commission. So, you need to be happy just, for you, not for them. They've made their money, whether you show up or not. So it's one of the reasons why the Diamond District is different. Great diamonds, great service, great prices. Todd and Jason, over 20 years at the Diamond District. If you're going to go that route for Valentine's Day, we strongly encourage you to go there. They'll take care of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The points they make in their commercials are accurate. It's more expensive when you go south. Nobody around there is even close to them with their selection. So check out the Diamond District, and when you do, make sure you tell them Miller and Moulton sent you. I'm firing myself up for this game, David. I really was. I wasn't there this morning. I'm looking at college basketball scores. I'm watching hockey highlights when I wake up in the morning. I wasn't there. I'm not feeling it for whatever reason. But all it took was opening up that app and start looking at prop bets.
Uh-oh. Lee Sterling, by the way, 7 o'clock tomorrow. We find out the over-under on the anthem. All right, go.
Well, I just thought there's a lot of things on here. First player to score a touchdown.
You would have to bet McCaffrey, wouldn't you? I mean, he's the touchdown machine in this game. I mean, he's got, 2 dozen touchdowns this year?
Yeah, he's the odds-on favorite to score the first touchdown at plus 450. Kelsey is next at plus 600. But I like Pacheco at plus 800.
Okay.
Your guy, Debo, plus 900. So just, a lot as we get into the fun bets of the of the game.
I do like the Super Bowl NBA prop bets. I always thought, like when obviously Kobe was alive, the first one that I remembered was, winning team's point total versus, Kobe's point total that day, which would be higher.
But like to me, this one's easy money. This one, they're basically giving you free money.
Okay.
Total fourth down conversions. The over-under is 1.5. You're plus with 115 to take the over. 2 fourth down conversions in the game.
Right.
Yeah, but what is that?
So that one to me looks like free money. What'll be higher? The longest field goal made or total points in the game?
Ooh.
Longest field goal made. They'll bet on Butker at some point, and he'll hit a 51-yarder.
Okay.
But it would have to, this is interesting, though, because it would have to be at least probably 4th and 4, because if it's anything inside that, they'd probably go.
Well, you're banking on a 50-yard field goal then and a lower scoring game. If you think the game's going to be any kind of a shootout, you're going to pick the points in this.
And even if it's not a quote-unquote low-scoring game, it could be 24 to
Well, 24-23 is what they're saying. Then you need a 48-yard field goal.
Right, and I think that's more than reasonable.
Would it surprise you if I told you that in the last 2 rounds of the playoffs that the Chiefs and 49ers have combined for 1 fourth down conversion? Combined in 2 games.
That would surprise me.
That does surprise me.
In the divisional round, neither team even attempted a fourth down conversion. So in the Chiefs' 27-24 win over the Bills, they didn't go for it. And in the Niners' 24-21 win over the Packers, 2 close games. In the one winning team was behind damn near the whole game. Didn't attempt a fourth down conversion. In the conference championship game, the 2 teams combined to go 1 for 3 on fourth down.
Will there be more passing touchdowns or field goals made?
Ooh. Interesting.
Pretty even odds there on both of those. So you're getting even odds on the passing touchdown, plus 120 on the field goals.
So basically, these are bets that are not worth making, though, because there's no real juice to being on, one side or the other.
Well, I mean, bets worth making if you think you're going to.
If you're going to win,
is there such a thing as a bet worth making?
Well, they're all worth making.
Thank
right?
you. Okay,
that's make a dadgum good point, but I'm just. So I just wanted to throw that fourth down info out there because I think all of our gut feeling is with the way teams go for it on fourth down is, well, there certainly will be more than, 1 fourth down conversion in this game. Yeah, not necessarily.
and obviously they've got to get to fourth down for them to go for it.
Curious what your guys' thoughts are on this one that I like and I will be taking. Kansas City Chiefs defense or special teams touchdown. Yes is plus 600. That is great value for a $5 bet.
They had a defensive score last year and damn near also had a special team score.
I just see it. I don't want to say likely, but I think it's the juice is worth the squeeze there because I can see Purdy throwing one right to Snead, or there's a strip sack and it's picked up by Chris Jones.
Well, gut feeling. How do you think Purdy's going to play? Mahomes has been in the game before. Mahomes has been terrific. Has there really been a playoff game in which afterwards we said, wow, Mahomes was lousy? I don't think so. Even the Super Bowl, Mahomes was amazing. His receivers dropped everything in the Tampa Bay game, and he was running for his life the whole game. I mean, you should have, if you've ever seen some of the NFL films and the mics on the Bucs players, okay, they're like, oh my goodness, look at him. When he's running for his life and he threw the ball at the goal line and Tyreek dropped it and another guy dropped. I mean, he threw 2 touchdowns in that game that were dropped, running full speed to the sideline to not get hit. So we know what we're going to get out of Mahomes. We're going to get a good performance. What do you think you're going to get from Purdy?
It's got to be a B+ performance or better for them to win.
Has he given you a B+ performance yet in the playoffs?
2 fourth quarters that have been A's.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I'd give him a B+ against Detroit. All things good. Now that's a terrible, terrible secondary, but I think he played pretty well aside from the one bad pick.
Well, and it should have been 2. He threw one right to the safety, who then decided to volleyball it up in the air so it could be caught at the 4. I mean, I think for most of the first 3 quarters of both playoff games that Purdy was a C.
I agree.
He was pretty good with his legs, though, in the Detroit game, and that's something that you didn't really think you'd see from him. And now that you have seen it from him, that makes me a little more confident. Not a ton, a little more confident in him going into the Super Bowl.
Okay, let me ask you this. If Purdy plays on the whole the way he has played on the whole in the first 2 playoff games, Niners win?
No. And this is the best defense he's faced. And that's without question.
That's why I like this bet for the Chiefs to maybe score a defensive touchdown, because a pick 6 is definitely in play. It's always in play. I mean, it's the NFL, but
now, we all know the story. Nick Foles was amazing. Even though Brady threw for 500 yards and the Patriots didn't punt, we all know who the winning quarterback was in the game. Phil Simms, going all the way back, 22 of 25 in the Super Bowl, outplaying John Elway, who just 2 weeks before had done the drive in Cleveland. Phil who? Right. We all know. We've had the stories. Tom Brady outplays Kurt Warner in a Super Bowl in 2001 when he started 12 games.
That's the perfect comparison for this game if Purdy wins it.
It is. It really is, isn't it? Because it would be Purdy's official coming out party against
the best quarterback in the game.
Yep.
Remember, Warner had already won league MVP in a Super Bowl.
One of the most potent offenses ever. And I understand this Chiefs offense isn't nearly what the others have been, but you still got Kelsey.
Remember, Rams tie it up, minute 30-something to go, kickoff. They try to run it back. He doesn't make it out to the 20. John Madden says on the air, I think they should play for overtime. I mean, that's how little status Tom Brady had. Madden's like, yeah, I think it's more likely something bad happens here than good. I'd play for overtime. Uh-huh.
Would be something to see Purdy with the ball last in this game, because he's been incredible in the fourth quarter.
Yes, he has.
He is. Yep. He at least looks like the guy that sees the moment and embraces the moment right now, David.
I'll go back 4 years in Miami. Chiefs finally get untracked. They put the 2 scores on the board. They got the 4-point lead. San Fran gets the ball back with about 3.5 minutes to go. 3 or 4 plays into that drive, Jimmy G's got a wide receiver behind the safety, wide open. Purdy going to hit him? Because
yes.
Jimmy G didn't.
Purdy will.
Okay.
Purdy will.
Same scenario, 24-20 Chiefs, under 3 minutes to play, 2nd and 6 on like the 35, and next thing you know, Ayuk is behind Snead or behind one of the safeties, and he's open by 3 yards. You think Purdy's going to hit him? Because Jimmy G didn't.
There's no doubt in my mind that Purdy would hit him.
Okay.
I really think in the fourth quarter, he has that something. That the moments aren't too big for him. And he's gotten better every game as the game's gone on.
Because we've had some quarterbacks that have been, Ben Roethlisberger, the first Super Bowl he won, was awful. Awful. The biggest pass play of the game, they let throw a wide receiver through it. He was terrible. I mean, sometimes guys just choke in this game.
And there's no way to think it's going to be anybody from Kansas City because all they've ever done is deliver in the postseason. Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for listening right here, Florida Sports Network.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Ooh, we got 2 bets to make tonight, David.
Okay.
Arizona's on the road at Utah. Utah's getting 5.5. Utah undefeated at home this year.
Gotta back up the truck. Could be a $7, $8 bet.
Not what we play. And FAU is at UAB. 5.5 is the number again.
Okay. Got to do it. Do we do a teaser? Combine them, add 6 points. They both get 11, 11.5.
I'll tell you what, when I can figure out how to do that, I will. Where's the parlay bet on this Hard Rock app?
Let me look for you. Let me do a little digging and a little R&D. For a parlay, you're saying?
Yeah.
You just
Or
throw
a teaser.
Yeah, teasers. Hang on. For a parlay, all you got to do is click on the ones you want, and then you can go down to your where it says selections, and then at the top right, parlays, and then you can choose the. You know what? I just decided this in real time. I'm betting on the Chiefs. I'm gonna put money all over the Chiefs. By that I mean it'll probably be a total of $20 on a bunch of different prop bets, but money line's plus 105. When has Chiefs money line ever been plus money? I guess last week it was. But
Okay, I got the parlay. I can't see the teaser. Interesting.
Some sportsbooks don't do it.
Yeah, they don't let me tease, David.
Barstool does, if you have that.
Oh, teaser. Hang on. We get 9.5 in each on a 2-team teaser.
Well, if we're taking them with 5.5, wouldn't we take them with 9.5?
There we go. Yeah, Logic Man, I got that listing. Right. If I had one of those listings, I wouldn't be working here anymore.
What do you get? 3% of that?
Probably 2%.
2%. 2% of 300 million.
Or it's for that, it might even be negotiated. It might just be a flat fee
of like 5 million. Because that'd be less than 2%. 2% is 5.9 million.
Yeah, it might be 3 million. I don't know. It'd be a great problem to have to discover.
Right. You know what? Ask Buck about it.
He's never had that problem either.
Just ask him. Say, listen, if we ever had a listing like this, how do you think that works? 2%, 3%?
Here we get the Twitch chat room.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes after the hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when we're making some bets. We went 2-0 yesterday, and now there was a qualifier there. We were going to take Wisconsin and lay 5.5 on the road. But for whatever reason, on the Hard Rock app, it was 8.5. Well, we weren't going to do that. So I know we said on the air we were betting Wisconsin. It turns out we couldn't do that. So that would have been a loss that we didn't get. So we went 2-0 last night on our money plays, and we're getting greedy tonight. Yup. We're not just making bets. We're going to have a teaser.
Have you downloaded the app yet?
No. Why? I've got you. I've got Trent. No.
No, I understand.
No. Because, once I do it, it's ball game over. No.
How many bets do you think you'd make a night?
37. Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on. You know how I do picks on Fridays. We have a rule. Stick to 5. 7, 8, 9. That's and that's when we have a rule. And I don't want to take up too much, time. We have split the time of the segment and what have you. And then I'm like, well, I know I'm going to hog the segment here, but it's tough, Mark. What can I tell you? I'm getting San Diego State points. I got to take it. So no, when all I'm doing is arguing with myself, you think I'm going to talk myself out of the play? Hell no.
Yeah, I think you could be dangerous with live betting too.
No, see that I can't. I wouldn't do that because
that's where I unravel. Start chasing your tail.
Yeah,
at the end of the night.
Exactly. You can't do that. Plus, I can't do live betting on a sport that's nothing but runs. Oh, okay, because no, can't do it. Hey, so in the last 20 or so years, I just went through, and I understand, he took over midway through the 2022 season, was undefeated until he got hurt in the NFC title game. And, we know what he's done here. He's going to be a finalist probably for MVP, finish top 3, 4, certainly top 5 for MVP, right? Brock Purdy?
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you look in the last 20 or so years, on paper, the status that both quarterbacks have before kickoff of the game, we mentioned 22 years ago, Tom Brady, second year in the league, took over because of an injury as a starter. We all know what happened afterwards, but at the time, Tom Brady against former league MVP, world's Super Bowl MVP, and Super Bowl champion quarterback Kurt Warner. That's a big mismatch there.
Right.
5 years later, Rex Grossman against Peyton Manning. Now, Peyton hadn't won it yet, but he probably already won 2 or 3 MVPs. Rex Grossman, Peyton Manning. And that was considered, wow, a big mismatch here.
Huge.
Okay. I'm curious what everybody thought the very first time Eli went against Brady. Remember, Brady's got 3 rings when they're playing that game.
I don't think we thought of it as a huge mismatch. I think the one guy was decidedly thought of as better, but it wasn't like nowhere near that Rex Grossman, Peyton Manning, David, I don't know if we've had one where we thought that differently about 2 quarterbacks in the last 20 years. You may be able to point one out to me, but I can't recall one quite like that.
So, it was about 15 years ago. Eli, 4th year in the league, and until the Giants went on that playoff run, he hadn't won a playoff game. And obviously, the Patriots were 18-0, and Tom Brady was the best player in the league, and he had already won 3 Super Bowls. So I think it was pretty decided towards Brady. Remember, it's Eli at that moment in time. He hasn't hit Tyree over the middle and Plaxico in the end zone yet. But he did have a really good NFC Championship game in Green Bay and what have you. Okay. So let's just go recently. When it was Nick Foles against Tom Brady, and I know they don't play against each other, but come on now. We're a quarterback-obsessed league in society. We bet the better quarterback. How many of you were like, well, come on, it's Nick Foles against Tom Brady. Of course the Patriots are going to win.
All of us.
And then if we had told you Brady's going to throw for 500 yards and the Patriots aren't going to punt, where would you be living nowadays as opposed to how much money you would have lost? Foles, for the record, Mark, threw for 373, 3 TDs and a pick. And threw the go-ahead touchdown with under 3 minutes to go. The very next year, Jared Goff against Tom Brady. Goff's only been in the league 3 years at this moment in time. Yeah, he was the number 1 pick of the draft. But, until 2 weeks earlier when he played really well in New Orleans, I thought he was the best quarterback on the field. But remember, the Rams should have lost that game. The horrendous non-call and the interference. Goff and the Rams shouldn't even been in the damn game against Tom Brady. 5 Super Bowl titles at that moment in time.
That's before that Chiefs-Rams game too, right? Or is that after? Because that would make a difference to me.
The Chiefs-Rams Monday Night Football game?
Yeah.
That was that season, earlier that season.
Yeah, I was going to say that was after.
And that was in Mexico City, wasn't it? Or no?
Was it? I thought it was the Coliseum, but okay.
Oh, it might have been. I don't know.
Because SoFi wasn't ready yet.
So we had seen Goff perform at a very high level already.
Right. So Goff, though, remember, Goff going up against Belichick and Flores. Brian Flores, first time he got super credit for what the Patriots defense did. Goff completed only 50% of his passes, 229 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick. Just curious, if I put Nick Foles' stats, nearly 70% completion, 373, 3 TDs and a pick, and he's going to match Purdy he's going to match Mahomes drive for drive, play for play. Quite frankly, the way Hurts did last year. Or the very next year, it's Jared Goff against Tom Brady, And even though it's not like Brady and the Patriots were tearing up Wade Phillips' defense, because they weren't, but Goff looked nervous the whole game. Goff was missing guys who were open all game. Remember, he had the guy wide open in the end zone for a touchdown, held on to the ball too long, and by the time he threw it, the DB could get back in the play and knock it away. I'm just curious, your gut feeling, Brock Purdy, does he play more like Jared Goff against, an iconic quarterback, or does he play more like Nick Foles?
I think it's going to be more like Nick Foles.
Okay. And if you think that, don't you have to bet the Niners?
Yes.
Trent, gut feeling. Gut feeling. Does Purdy play more like Nick Foles or Jared Goff in this game?
Jared Goff. I think the potential for disaster is much bigger than the potential for a virtuoso, a signature game.
Interesting.
And a lot of that has to do with the Chiefs' defense. I am very high on the Chiefs' defense. And when the pressure's on after Mahomes finds his rhythm a little bit and Kyle Shanahan likes to get cute with the lead if they happen to get one, I just Jared Goff.
By the way, if you're Kyle Shanahan and you're making your own sheet, Mark, don't you at the top of it have to say fourth quarter with lead, run the ball? Don't you? Doesn't that have to be near the top?
David, I think the border of the whole sheet is just run. Run down the side. Run. Anytime he opens his eyes, I want him to see those three letters.
Not to mention this time he's got Christian McCaffrey.
Got that right.
It's not Deontay
and he's got
Foreman
Deebo Samuel. That I expect him to run the ball a couple of times. I mean, I expect them to have those type of plays. He's got the fullback that he can do things with.
Yes. Run, and run again.
So just, we all have a gut feeling, how we think guys and teams are going to perform. We've here in the last handful of years, we've had two of these matchups. Nick Foles went against a legendary quarterback. Jared Goff went against a legendary quarterback. They performed very differently.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Logic Man, I'm not coming after you, but for what it's worth, I'm not a PFF guy, not a QBR guy. I think it's impossible to analytically grade a lot of what they're trying to analytically grade. I mean, you don't know what the play call is before the play. Just like, with offensive linemen, you don't know what the blocking scheme is before the play. So I'm not a big PFF guy. But obviously Foles was terrific in that game. So we can't do a promo, correct?
I have an idea. If you want me to, with about 12 seconds left, point at Mark, and he can just coming up tomorrow on Miller or whatever. If you want to end the show
finish
that way,
the show with the promo.
because then I could clip that from the live recording.
Well, we got Lee. I don't know about anything else.
But do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, we'll make our. I mean, Lee, and we'll make our picks. Yeah, Collinsworth is part owner of PFF. So yeah, PFF's based out of Cincinnati, where Collinsworth lives. Solomon Wilcott's also, I believe, is a part of it. Don't hang up on me right away. Once we stop the broadcast, I got to talk to you about something for a minute.
Okay. Wow. Bill Cowher, Boomer, and Phil Simms are all unsigned for next year.
Correct.
Wow.
I think Cowher will be back. I definitely don't think Phil will be back.
Phil's just kind of.
And Nate Burleson's contract's expiring too.
Yeah, Burleson, I think, is actually going to become the star of the show. If he wants it. Okay, he may not, because he's really diving into this news thing, and with it being a presidential election year. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of 3 that are just on the regular CBS mornings.
Correct.
Him, Gail King, and
correct.
Yeah,
So it's a 6+ day work week, 5 months out of the year. Right. Does he want that? I'm going to throw something out there, which I think is a possibility. Jamie Erdahl as host. She's doing a hell of a job on Good Morning Football. She's already under the CBS umbrella.
But they re-signed James Brown.
Oh, okay.
For 2 more years.
JB. I like JB. I'm a fan.
Because he was unsigned too. So that's got to be new.
It just happened. That's,
Okay,
I mean,
gotcha.
I just saw the tweet. That's why I brought it up.
I'll make you a prediction. She replaces him in 2 years. I think Cowher comes back. I think Boomer comes back because they love the New York bump that they get with him, because his morning show's killing it in New York City. And most networks make all their decisions based on New York City.
Wow, there's an earthquake in the Atlantic last night, 101 miles east of Cape Canaveral.
All right, we have music today. And here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour, 16 until we're out of here. Lee Sterling with some of his favorite prop bets, plus We'll get the skinny. It's the anthem going over or under. Just like we're using one of Trent's brother's girlfriends for our Swiftie special, Lee uses his daughter. She's a performer. She sings the anthem. She tracks his stuff. She analyzes tape. She's 9 for 9 in the last 9 Super Bowls, calling the over-under on the anthem.
This one's really difficult, too. I am fascinated by what her pick on this one's going to be, because it's like the number where it is a pretty low number, but there are recordings of her doing it even faster than that, and there are recordings of her do it slower than that. So what's the style going to be? So I am fascinated in this one, because Lee's daughter's been giving us free money for a decade.
Uh-huh.
And now we can legally bet on this.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you guys this for fun. Humor me. If you had to sing the national anthem at an event like this, do you think you would speed up because you're nervous, or would you slow down to try to just get it right, if you know what I mean?
I would slow down, because to be serious for 3 seconds, the only singing voice that I have that is decent is when I sing and use my stomach, my diaphragm, and that's a deep voice. When I'm singing from my throat, it gets much higher. I'm awful. So I would have to slow down and breathe. Plus, I'd be staring at the scoreboard reading the words, because I'd be so nervous that I'd forget the anthem.
Where's the volume button on the radio that I can turn it up so I can sing behind it? That's all I'd need to know.
You'd sing to a track?
Yeah, I'd
Mark
need to
Milli Vanilli.
You're damn right. I'm not singing anywhere.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
Well, legend has it Whitney recorded, the anthem Super Bowl 25 in Tampa, Giants, Bills.
Right.
We had just gone to war in the Gulf. And, a lot of people think it's one of the greatest anthem renditions ever. Legend has it she recorded that Saturday afternoon, and she was lip-syncing it live. We know how it sounded. It was amazing. But that legend has it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
That was done the day before.
I would do anything to be able to sing well. I mean, even just to be an above average karaoke, to walk up to do karaoke and grab the microphone, sing one song, and the place go, oh, it's really good.
So you love that Eddie Murphy routine from 40 years ago when, he was talking about, I tell jokes. Okay. But,
yes,
but when
he's right.
When you sing, they throw panties on the stage. That was his bit there. Well, if you can sing, ladies throw themselves at you.
1896 we start today, David. The Western Conference formed. Like all things with this conference, it would later be renamed the Big Ten.
How many teams were in it?
And I couldn't find it. But probably not 10 at that time. Today in 1936, the first ever NFL draft was held. Jay Burwagner was the first picked player by the University of Chicago, picked by the Philadelphia Eagles. Today in 1945, Paul Brown agrees to be the coach in Cleveland. They could have had a lot of other guys coach that. And we could have had a lot of different names for the Cleveland Browns.
I mean, they could have been the Cleveland Burwangers.
Right. Today in 1960, Bill Russell got some rebounds. 51 of them to be exact in a game.
If they kept track of blocks back then too, don't they say he would have been by far the leader in blocks all time?
Because he was one of those that blocked it and kept it in play.
Yeah.
1963, the Dallas Texans become the
Kansas City Chiefs.
This one's for your mom. I hope she's still listening. Today in 65, Motown released this little song by the Supremes, Stop in the Name of Love. I know your mom's a big Motown fan.
I'll be singing it all day.
Good Times premiered on CBS today in 1974. The movie Taxi Driver premiered today in 1976. Right Said Fred's I'm Too Sexy was number 1 in the land today in 1992.
Oh, man. We really have a drug problem in this country. It's been going on for a long time.
Yes, it has.
Golly.
And today in 1996, the NFL in Cleveland let Art Modell move to Baltimore, but leave the name behind.
Greatest negotiations ever. City of Baltimore said, you get off this plane, the deal is taken off the table.
General Sherman, Jules Verne, Jack Lemmon, James Dean, and Kimbo Slice all born today. Ted Koppel's 84. Author John Grisham is 69.
So Brokaw and Koppel are the same age.
Yeah.
And born like what, a day or two apart?
A couple days apart. Dino Cicerelli is 64. Probably still put him in front of the net and he gets you a goal.
Well, especially since they're not allowed to do to you now what they did to him then.
Vince Neil is 63. Terry McDaniel's 59. He was really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alonzo Mourning's 54. Wrestler The Big Show is 52. Surfer Bethany Hamilton is 34, as is Klay Thompson. What did I miss, David?
Oh, Mark, I can't believe it, actually. You missed a biggie. You missed a biggie in sports on this day in 1986. This is when this was big. This was a happening. This was a thing. Spud Webb won the NBA dunk contest over Dominique.
Uh-huh.
5'7" Spud Webb won the dunk contest over his teammate, 6'8" Dominique Wilkins. Man, Dominique got screwed in so many dunk contests. They gave the one in Chicago to Jordan. He didn't outdunk Dominique that night. Okay, they were all laughing on the sidelines like, the fix is in. You know, I mean, Jordan did do the run the length of the court, the Julius Irving foul line dunk. I mean, it was tremendous, but there you go. 5'7" Spud Webb, not just dunking. The dunks were so amazing that he won the dunk contest. When the dunk contest was a thing.
Right. Hasn't been a thing for a long time. Oh, the guy that won it last year had great dunks.
Well, and there was that dunk contest like 5 years ago. Was it Levine and somebody from the Timberwolves? I mean, it was actually, they put on an amazing show. If their names had been Dominique and Jordan, we'd be talking about it forever.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the key. Mark was like, yeah, that guy who won it last year, he was pretty good.
No, it was great.
I know, but it's just, I can't remember his name either. It escapes me. But.
Which is why this year, you know, the thing that's going to get the most attention from the NBA All-Star Weekend is the three-point contest between Ionescu from the New York Liberty and Steph. But I mean, think about it. Larry Bird, I mean, he competed in the three-point contest. He wanted to compete in the three-point. He talked trash to the others in the three-point contest.
He walked in the locker room and said, so which one he is going to get second?
Right.
TikTok is worth having just for the Larry Bird stories that are on there. Because all my, algorithms are just sports and recipes. That's all I see on there. And the Larry Bird stories that you hear on there are the stories are just amazing.
The one three-point contest, Bird's got the money ball, the ABA, the last shot was the money ball, and he's shooting it from the corner, and he has to make it to win. He's trailing by a point. All right. And he fires up the shot and he's not even looking at it. He turns, he walks away. He's got his finger up in the air. I'm number one. Boom. It goes in. I'm telling you, it's when the guys actually played the game. All right. And they took the three-point contest and the slam dunk contest. They're like, yeah, all the top guys participated. They all wanted to. Now, load management includes All-Star Weekend.
That's a 3-day break. Get me away from this game for a couple of days.
Speaking of the NBA, 3:00 today, trade deadline. It's going to be big, huge. Is Spud
Who's
Webb
traded?
They
Maybe.
think
Possibly.
Andrew Wiggins or DeJounte Murray.
Andrew Wiggins is lobbying so hard to stay in Golden State, it's not even funny.
And DeJounte Murray's like, get me the hell out of Atlanta. This Trae Young guy doesn't pass me the ball.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Arkansas for the good, where
right.
Kay Anthony of Harrell, Arkansas, said she only usually plays lottery games once or twice a month, but she was inspired to make an extra purchase after listening to a church sermon about praising God for things on the way. So she used her jackpot app to buy the ticket for the Powerball. She didn't check her number for several days and found out that she had won $100,000.
Wow.
Yep.
She got some inside information there. She knew stuff was coming.
Exactly. For the bad, we'll come back to the Sunshine State, where Jason Bruskowitz went around the signs at New Smyrna Beach about 9 in the morning, even though the closed gate said do not enter, without paying a toll fee. During high tide, he decided to take his truck out for a ride on the beach. Tried to do a donut before taking the truck into the Gulf of Mexico. Things did not work out well for him. When the police came, he said, I thought I was in England, with a grin. The deputy said, you thought you were in England, you're not in England. He responded with, are we not in Kansas anymore? When he asked if he could get in trouble for what he was doing, the deputy said, jail time if need be. He's got a big smile on his face during the mugshot. And he said, it's not my fault. My truck don't surf. Finally, the ugly. We go to France, where Richard Plaud used 706,900 matchsticks in 8 years to build a 23.6-foot model of the Eiffel Tower.
Man, get a life, dude.
It was a world record, but the Guinness World Record was rejected on the grounds of the matches he used. It was
come on.
The tallest matchstick sculpture ever made.
What, the matches were too big?
The matches, he was disqualified because the rules state matches used in the sculpture must be commercially available. And he struck a deal with a company to sell him 33-pound boxes of headless matches. So after doing the tower for 8 years to get the world record, it has been rejected.
Well, wait a minute. He struck a deal. He bought them. Isn't that commercial?
I don't know if it's because there was no match heads on them.
You can't go buy matches with no head on it. So
well, then they weren't matches.
They were just wooden sticks.
Yeah,
so still a wooden sculpture. Are you kidding me? 8 years.
By the way, that means he started this while Obama was still president.
And that is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, February the 8th, 2024.
All right. I'm going to start here because I got to get this off my chest. And I know we don't have a lot of time. There's 7 games in the NHL tonight. Panthers are one of them. They're hosting Washington. Panthers lost their first game after the break. Caps have lost 5 in a row. So the Lightning, by the way, are on Long Island. That game is on ESPN at 7 o'clock. Why? The 2 best teams in the sport are playing each other tonight at 7 o'clock. Vancouver's at Boston. The one team has the most points in the West. The one team has the most points in the East. Are you serious about covering this league or not? Come on now. Not only that, it's the Bruins. More people will watch the Bruins than will watch the Islanders and the Lightning combined. What the heck, ESPN? Cover the damn NHL properly. All right, I'm done.
Magic hosts the Spurs tonight in the NBA. Full slate of action there as well. College best games, Arizona and Utah. Utah's getting points. They're undefeated at home. Arizona's ranked.
Well, then we're betting them.
Yeah, you're damn right we are. And Florida Atlantic is on the road at UAB. UAB getting 5.5 points. Guess what? We're betting them too.
Well, why don't we tease it and get even more points?
Done.
That's how we roll. Miller and Moulton. Lee Sterling in our Super Bowl picks tomorrow.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes.